What is up, Cowboys Nation? It's your boy Jay Tuck, DMV, CFT, and we are Cover 3. And we are back, you know what I'm saying? Because Rome, all right, this is what happened, Cowboys Nation. I'm going to tell y'all the truth, you know what I'm saying? Rome went on vacation. DMV went on vacation and they left my ass just stuck here working and grinding, you know what I'm saying? So damn that, bro. As soon as they got back from their flight, I'm like, nah, y'all got to get back and let's do some work because then I'm going on vacation next week. But fellas, what's going on with y'all?
Chilling, man.
Refresh, Brand.
Can't complain.
Yeah, so y'all refreshed. I'm running on fumes right now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna let y'all lead. I'll let y'all lead, dog.
I wasn't really on vacation. It's just life be lifing. I ain't gonna make
Right.
the thing. Life be lifing, but I was in a vacation spot. I was
Right.
in Mexico. I'm still tired. Let's just leave it at that.
Right. Facts.
Yeah.
Facts, man. So salute there. You know, DMV, he's out there in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? My second home, my home away from home out there living. You know what I'm saying? DMV hit me like, man, I'm on the roulette. I just got mad. You know what I'm saying? I just got mad. Like, why?
That's because that's your spot, Tuck.
That's my spot, man. I love Vegas. I can't wait to get back, man. But salute to everybody in the chat, watching across all the channels. As y'all know, share the content, like the content, let everybody know that Cover 3 is live. We about to start gearing up, going full throttle as we gear up for camp in the Dallas Cowboys upcoming season. But we got a lot to talk about, y'all, so keep y'all questions flowing. We got this new thing where we can see all y'all questions coming in, so that way we don't miss none of y'all questions. But we're just going to keep things free flowing, so we'll do some live Q&A stuff. But we got a lot to talk about because we've been talking for a minute in the group chat, so we got to do some catch-up work. So, DMV, I'm going to toss things over to you, bro.
Okay.
What you want to talk about?
Yeah, so Rome in the group chat was talking about like, yo, should we talk about running backs? And I was like, might be a good time to really interject and talk about Kevin Gogan because salute to Mike Tagg. Mike Tagg had me on.
Shout out to Mike Tagg
last week,
man.
I think it was the week before that, and Kevin Gogan, legendary Cowboys lineman who was on the '90s teams. He in the past talked about how Emmitt Smith, having a special runner, Emmitt Smith, made all of the difference in the world, right? So I wanted the opportunity to ask him myself, being that Emmitt Smith's my favorite player. He's who got me to be a Cowboy. He's probably the biggest reason why I'm even on here right now. If it wasn't for no Emmitt Smith, I probably wouldn't even be a Cowboys fan. But Logan had the opportunity to really just tell us that what made them was Emmitt. I mean, they had so many different combinations, and when Emmitt went on strike, they felt it, and it didn't matter that the front office and everybody was telling them how good they were as a line. They knew as a unit they were not maximizing everything without having 22 out there. And 22 came back, MVP, Super Bowl, and that's all she wrote. So now I'm going to flip it back to Rome because I know Rome had the question of, is this running back room good enough? And I know that we've built the line, we've got the coaches, but I'm going to flip it to you guys and say, like, is this matching? Is what we have in the backfield going to maximize what we have?
Yeah, Ron, I'll let you go ahead with that.
Listen, no.
Give it up. No. Hell
I'm
no.
not even going to give y'all no. Look, and this ain't got nothing to do. I got Jaydon Blue on my thumbnail. This ain't got nothing to do with Jaydon Blue because I got faith in the young man. But I'm also not about to put the world on his shoulders. And that's our biggest problem. Jaydon Blue can turn into a phenomenal player. He can even have an excellent rookie season. But we cannot be talking about at next January, or if we don't make it to January, we can't be like, yo, man, we probably shouldn't have put the whole season's running game on a rookie's back. And that's the thing that I'm frustrated with. It's not about his talent, what he can grow into, the fact that some of y'all think he Bo Jackson. Look, man, that's fine. But you shouldn't try to do that with a rookie unless his pedigree precedes itself. Like, yes, if it's Ashton Genty, out of there, put it on his back because of what we saw. Jaydon Blue is literally still developing. He don't got a lot of traction, which is a plus for us. He's still developing. He could grow into a monster. I plan on him growing into a monster. I don't want him to not be good, but I also ain't going to be like, you know what? Let's just put everything on him as far as like, let's just say the defense is clicking that day and the passing game ain't working. And I'll say 3 names. The passing game ain't working. The defense is clicking. They just got the perfect scheme, and we need to lean on the running game. I'll say 3 names: Jaydon Blue, Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders. Does any of those names make you feel like you can lean on them for a Sunday? If you don't feel like you can lean on them at all of them combined, like Voltron, do you feel like you can lean on that?
No. And I'll tell you why. And I know my guy Tuck is inching to get in here, but look.
Talk about the day now.
I give up.
Right. Yeah, look, Philadelphia, right? Because I 2 years ago had the best line, one of the best lines I'd ever seen. Right, that line was better than the team that won the title last year, and they didn't even lean on Miles Sanders, and he had 1,300 yards. They didn't even lean on him, so that should tell you all you need to know, because Miles Sanders could be in the best shape of his life like he was 2 years ago, and the best line didn't lean on him, and quite frankly, that might be why they lost in the Super Bowl.
Hey, DMV, if you're not getting better, you staying still. Case in point, the Eagles went from Miles Sanders to DeAndre Swift because they thought they can get a little bit better.
Yeah.
Then they went from DeAndre Swift to Saquon Barkley, probably knowing they can get better, but they're never stagnant. They're just like, we probably can add a little bit more. And you know what? That's the one thing I got to give to that team, and I hate to do it. They're never complacent. The Cowboys are, I think this will work, but if it don't, we'll go do this. But by the time we get to the we'll go do this, the store empty. The Jordan sold out. And so we leave the store with some Adidas because
I mean the Cowboys are like me. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be fully transparent. I do Christmas shopping the day right before. You know what I'm saying? It'd be wrapping paper on the floor.
You know, good enough. Yeah, I think everybody be all right. Like,
you know, dog, why didn't you go get this Black Friday deal? You know what I'm saying? But here I am walking through Macy's, and they know they got a sucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, bro, I just need to get something from my wife. You know, oh yeah, come over here. What do you like?
They got you.
They got me. I ain't got no leverage because it's Christmas Eve. So I feel like the Cowboys go into the season year after year with that mindset. And I said this yesterday, y'all. And I know we're supposed to be Starberries. You want to go to Starberry. But I feel like as much as we don't like Philly, right? And it's crazy that DMV just mentioned Emmitt Smith. I feel like the Philadelphia Eagles have done a better job of mirroring what we did back in the 90s that made us successful today. Right. Yeah. Think about the Dallas Cowboys. You had a great offensive line, the Great Wall of Dallas. Now it's in Philly. We talked about Emmitt Smith, Saquon Barkley. Like, even though Troy Aikman didn't put up godly numbers, he was a serviceable competitor quarterback, right? The same thing with Jalen Hurts. You had good wide receivers on the perimeter. They had a good defensive line. So did the Dallas Cowboys. They had quality corners, Deion Sanders, and what they brought in with Quinn. Being aggressive, never being stagnant, never being complacent, and doing everything it takes to win a championship. That was the way that Eagles fans talk about ski masks, Howie. That was Jimmy Johnson. That's how we got the triplets in the first place, by robbing them blind with Herschel Walker. So for some reason, y'all, we have just lost who we are. And I feel like this is why Dallas Cowboys fans are uneasy when it comes to the running back position, because we didn't solve it. I mean, I could make an argument for Rico versus Javonte Williams. Like, I can make that argument if you really want to. It wasn't a leap as far as an upgrade. It was a few little minor tweaks. And DMV, I want to ask you this question because I know you played the position. This is your spot. What is the difference in mindsets between RB by committee and having a true workhorse back? Because it works for some teams and the other approach works for others. But I personally don't feel like the Dallas Cowboys are built for running back by committee. But why do you think that the Cowboys are starting to lean towards this new approach?
To be honest with you, based on Schottys, now what you can say is this backfield is very similar to the Seattle backfield when he first got there. You know, when you had Penny, when you had who was the guy? Chris Carson. You had those
Chill,
guys.
Wes. Chill, Wes. We're gonna lose focus on the
building,
Wes.
Yeah.
Nah, but like
also a quick plug, man. Salute to everyone watching on Instagram. I finally figured it out. You know what I'm saying? I've been trying this for weeks. It's been flopping, but we're streaming live on Instagram. So salute to everybody on Instagram. Y'all comments are coming through. So you know what I'm saying? Salute to my dog West Coast.
Yeah, but like the difference is just approach. So I mean, you look at that Seattle team, but Schotty with that Seattle team, they weren't busting grapes in the playoffs with that backfield, even though Chris Carson was doing well. I think the difference, like, because workhorse might not work today either. Like you look at Green Bay, you look at when they had Josh Jacobs, and you know what I'm saying, they lost too. But I think it really just matters the approach. Like Andy Reid has won Super Bowls with probably by committee. You know what I'm saying? Like by committee most of that time. And you could argue that it works. But the reason that they're able to do that, more West Coast, you know what I'm saying? They're able to play small ball when they need to play small ball. And Dallas, it doesn't work because we don't want to play small ball. Teams force us into small ball. What I mean by small ball is playing chains, being patient, no turnovers. Like we're trying to, you know what I'm saying, swing for the fences throughout the whole damn game. And we don't know how to take the single here, bunt here, sacrifice fly for my baseball folks out there. And so that's why it doesn't work here, because we swinging for the fences and the other team, they're geared for a different fight.
I'll echo what y'all saying. I think I do agree with y'all 100%. I think our biggest problem, it's not about that the Eagles have found some type of a magical formula that nobody's ever seen before. I know we gave y'all some praise, but everybody that's in the back, y'all chill out.
It ain't nothing new, right? It ain't nothing new.
Doing nothing special. I've seen Sean McVay doing this for years. He built this team. I've seen Kyle Shanahan, although he has not captured the ultimate prize, he predicates his team off the running game. Their schemes are slightly different. Andy Reid, he might not be a running type of offense, but Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, certain players, he knows when he needs to dial it up. Our problem, like DMV is saying, is we just never want to dial it up. We never want to have a counter punch to, okay, we're a passing team. We're a vaunted passing attack, you know, hypothetically or whatever. But we don't never prep for the counter punch. We literally go out there with this better work. Oh no, it's not working. Well, we're gonna double down and throw the CD when he bracketed. And I heard something earlier. You know, I like to skirt the edges. I heard something earlier, and I'm gonna talk to y'all about this a little bit more offline. But I've been digging into like what was our biggest problem over the last 4 years during the McCarthy era. What was the biggest problem? And y'all know we in a sports filled landscape that's filled with egos. And it's one of those things where I'm not blaming this on McCarthy like we blamed it on Kellen Moore. But I will say this, there was a whole lot of stubbornness going on with this team. And I'm hoping that the way we have failed so miserably for the last 18 months got some of that stubbornness out. Because really digging deep, man, there's a lot of times where it ain't even about just personnel. Trust me, I love to take craps on Rico all the time. I always hate on Rico when I get a chance. And it's probably unwarranted, you know what I'm saying, because of the scheme. You know, I know a lot of y'all like to hate on Zeke, but like DMV was saying and what you were saying, man, it's just because we didn't believe in running the football.
Right.
Shout out to Wes. We just didn't believe. You got to believe in what you're doing. Yeah. And it ain't about being a running team, but when the rubber made the road, I'm talking about in the Kellen years, we would always run out of pass sets and never get off the ball and move forward. In the McCarthy years, it seemed like he would run out of frustration. All right, y'all, I ain't run for 2 series. Here go 3 runs in a row.
Right.
To try to hit a quota. So in neither of those instances, both as much as you might have hated Kellen or you might hate McCarthy. But if you go back and watch both tenures, neither of them believed in a run. That might be the one thing they probably agreed on. They probably shook hands. We don't like running the ball.
Right.
And I'm hoping that I will say this. If you look at pedigree, you go look at McCarthy's tenures in both teams or wherever he's been, he's not a big running guy.
Right.
And neither is Kellen. But if you look at Schottenheimer's pedigree, resume, whatever you want to call it, he does appreciate the run. Now, the proof will be in application. We're gonna have to see. But to echo y'all points, man, we haven't believed in the run. I want better talent, but I don't care if we do bring Saquon in here. It's like what you said that last year. I think you said this, Tuck. It don't matter if we'd have brought Saquon in here or Derrick Henry. We would have been better, but they would have had him sitting on the sideline in big situations too, because we don't believe it.
And now I was saying that I think it was versus the Ravens game. It's funny you mentioned Killen because it's like Killen got probably a better running back room than the Cowboys got, and he probably ain't even going to use him. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you get Devin Neal for? What you gonna do with that, bro?
Hey man, don't get me sad.
You know what I'm saying? But I was saying this when about the Baltimore game where the Baltimore Ravens knew the Dallas Cowboys, could not stop the run, and they say, you know what? We just gonna run it down their throats, pause if you will, the entirety of this game, right? I don't even think the Cowboys could do that to a team if they wanted to, because they'll just be itching to pass. I don't think that was in Mike's DNA and also Kellen's DNA. I do think it's consistent across the board when it comes to Clayton Adams, Brian Schottenheimer, Coach Riley. Like, I think they are all run games. They live and die by the run. But my biggest question is, all right, don't you want the main ingredient? You know what I'm saying? Like, don't you, you know what I'm saying? Don't you? I mean, it just doesn't add up. And I get it, right? Javonte Williams coming off the injury. He can have a spark. Miles Sanders could be replenished, though I think he's probably going to be a practice squad guy. You have Jaydon Blue, who had 5 starts in his career. A lot of college football fans don't know Jaydon Blue wouldn't even start in those games because Texas got a real running back coming back off an injury. Baxter didn't go down, right? So Jaydon Blue was an afterthought, right? But he's the speed guy. You had Phil Maffa, who had the shoulder injury, but was behind Will.
Everybody's ignoring that too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's not like there's nothing confident to lean on, right? And I feel like when it comes to our confidence from last year's core to this year's core, the needle hasn't moved for me personally. Like the way I felt, you know what I'm saying, last year is kind of how I felt this year. Like, damn, we should have got a Bucky Irving. We should have got a Braylon Allen. We should have got one of those kids in the draft. And I feel like we still kind of missed out and we didn't bring in a veteran. So we're all going off of now. It's just sit back and just hoping for the best. But I do think just scheme wise, philosophy wise, if they got 1,000 from Rico, they can clip 1,000 from Javonte easily, right? And then that kind of goes to your post that you talked about, Rome, with Jaydon Blue. Would you have 780 and 8 touchdowns?
Oh, that was a very unique. I'll spill the beans.
Yeah, please.
A lot of people wonder, like, yo, where you get these stats from? This is, and I need y'all bookmark this because it's a lot of people that be stealing ideas.
Right.
I was just looking at. I said, can we get? Because I'm looking at Jaydon Blue's run style. He's not going to be physical. Hopefully, he can be more shifty, but he's definitely a speed guy. I was looking at Alvin Kamara's rookie stats.
Okay.
I went back. I said, what kind of back is he? Because when he sits down and talks with, what's her name? Kay Adams, the thing he keeps highlighting in this game, his superpower is his catching ability. Yeah. Y'all, hey, stay on task. Stay on task.
Salute to K, man. Salute to K.
But he talks about his catching ability, which is fine. Everybody got a superpower. And if that's his superpower, great, because I want you to be able to utilize it. You know, Texas routed up. I don't care what you got to do. My point is, I said, okay, so if he thinks that he's a receiver running back, what would be the ceiling? When Alvin Kamara was clicking, that's the ceiling. He never really hit 1,000 yards because he always would pretty much get his other yardage with catching out of the backfield. You know what I'm saying? And his ability to catch. So if we're this year alone, if we're going to use him to the best of his ability, pass catching is going to be one of them. So I went and looked up Alvin Kamara's stats, and I said, okay, can Jaydon Blue get 180 or 700 yards? Maybe not 700 if they're going to use him a certain way. But I said, then let's go to Alvin Kamara light. Can he get 500 to 600 yards? But can he catch? Because Alvin Kamara caught for, I screenshotted it earlier too. I ain't reveal it on Twitter because I'd be working. Right. Alvin Kamara caught for receiving 81 receptions for 826 yards. Do I think that Jaydon Blue is going to go out there and have a Randall Cobb year? No.
Right.
But can he get 300 to 400 yards and then run for like 500 yards? Maybe right under 1,000.
I think so.
And you know what? And I think Kamara had 13 touchdowns. No, I don't think Jaydon Blue's going to have 13 touchdowns. Can he get me 5? And so, and you know what? And in my mind, I said, all right, if the ceiling is Alvin Kamara and he can land on Alvin Kamara light, you know what? I would be really happy with his season. That's my goal for him. If y'all think he about to go out there and look like Saquon Barkley or some type of workhorse back, you're going to be mad at yourself.
Right.
Listen to when he talk. If he sits down and interview and K. Adams say, what can you bring to the table? And the first thing that comes to his mind is, I'm a receiver.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah. Hey, in Rome, to add to what you're saying, right? I did a video on this the other day because a lot of people want to hear about what's going on in OTAs. And the back that they say has been shining the most because he's been getting the premium reps is Miles Sanders. And when you hear about Miles Sanders, the thing you hear is, he caught a screen pass and he just got out of there. And I'm just thinking, well, damn, bro, another screen pass. Like,
So let's connect the dots, right? We heard about Jaydon Blue, wide receiver. We heard about Miles Sanders, wide receiver. Where were they saying Deuce Vaughn was getting more reps in OTAs at? Wide receiver. Okay, bro. All right, dog. Like,
I didn't heard Devontae Turpin been taking running back reps.
Well, that's the thing. I already is you're in wide receiver for the running backs, and then you hear one of the receivers, like you hear CD and Turpin taking running back reps. So here
we are again. So here we are again having open tryouts at the running back position. But speaking of OTAs, like this is why y'all tune into Cover 3 because you never know who might pop in, and so. We got a superstar who decided to jump on and bless us with her knowledge of the Dallas Cowboys. So Cowboys Nation, she doesn't need no introduction because y'all probably already know who she is. But our sis, Iisha Morrison, what's going on, 2I?
Please don't make a scene. Don't
make a scene.
Make a scene.
Make a
scene. We always gonna make a scene.
Hey, friend, where you come from, bro? Like,
make a scene.
Nah, I seen y'all talking. I was like,
the star symbol, like the bat symbol in the air, jumped in.
My community, y'all know what to do. Put some fire emojis in the chat.
Yeah,
that's how we do. You gotta work them properly.
Superstar.
Y'all, I've never done a show with you, Ron.
I know you be walking around with a bear in Dallas. We ain't gonna talk about that
right now. He's precious.
Now I'm happy to do a show with you. I feel blessed that you jumped on.
That's why I seen I haven't done a show with John or DMV. My bad. I ain't
damn.
Talking about the government.
What y'all talking about, man? What y'all talking about?
All right, so since we're talking about the running back position, right? So Javonte Williams, Miles Sanders, Jaydon Blue. So you've seen it up close and personal. So we'll kick it over to you.
She about to give us the real.
What did you see at OTAs, and how are you feeling as far as your confidence level when it comes to the running back position?
Man, so it's interesting because when the Cowboys signed Miles Sanders, it's so funny. I gotta switch. I'm doing Texan stuff now. I just got a Texas show.
Look at you multitasking. But you know what I'm saying? Hey, don't leave us.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Leave us. Don't leave us.
No.
Right, if I can't go, you can't go. You know what I'm saying?
You can't go have fun without.
Yeah. She out here covering other teams and stuff.
I'm never completely leaving, but I gotta get my coin. I gotta. And also, it's cool.
It's a zoo, dude.
It's cool learning another division, y'all, and I'm doing it because I want to expand and learn more. Right. So, but anyway,
that's fire.
Thank you so much. But when Miles Sanders got signed, I don't know how y'all felt about it, but I was just like, y'all know that Waka Flocka meme where it be like, okay, like I didn't really think that much of it, but seeing him out there now, Miles Sanders is the type of guy, he is gonna stand out when there's no pads. He is because
please tell me that. Do he got some step? Because that's what I've been hearing.
He does. And I want to temper everybody, but I do think that he is a guy, like his vision's gonna serve him. His experience, I think, is serving him in the install period. So he does look a tick faster than everyone because he mentally processes faster. He's been in this game for a minute. He's been in multiple offenses. So he has stood out. There's not a whole bunch to go off of, but just consistently being like, oh, that was a nice little pop right there. Oh, Jaydon Blue, the most I've seen from him is that they are using him. I think they are going to use him in a receiver capacity. And we just saw him talking about this recently. And that's one thing I said on my show with Sky, the Sky and Two Guy show, that
shout out to Sky.
Shout out to Sky.
That's
one thing that I said on there is one thing that I took away from OTAs is that if you have RB by your name for this team, you are going to have to do receiving things this year. I think we saw a lot of them getting out in space, misdirection, stuff like that. Javonte Williams. Now let me say, like, I ain't trying, y'all, please. Javonte Williams is a guy that he is not gonna pop outside of pads. He is the downhill thumper. Where are you running back? That's mostly
we need that though.
Yeah, that's mostly his game. I do think he has a little bit more go to him than he did last year, obviously being further removed from the injury that he had. But it's really weird because even so, and again, they said not to think too much into snaps and reps and stuff, but Deuce Vaughn was taking running back reps before Jaydon Blue as well. And he was doing running back things. He was not doing receiver things. He was doing running back things.
How he look? I know it's no pads.
I mean, he looks himself. Listen, Deuce Vaughn's college tape, you put it up against many running backs, and you're gonna be like, dog, he's better than them. So I'm never gonna. I think Deuce Vaughn has talent. The problem with Deuce Vaughn is I think you're limited, especially if you're asking your guys to do a lot on pass pro. He's gonna put forth the effort. He does it. Like, don't get it twisted. He'll throw his body.
He gonna throw him like,
but at what expense? Yes. So I think he loses value because of the special teams inability. And he can be a returner, but baby, Tobin was taking all them snaps in camp. He was taking all of the receiving snaps behind Turpin. So
I do have a question for you. So our running back coach, the two backs that pop out in his resume are Kamara and Austin Eckler. Do you see Deuce Vaughn Eckler things?
Well, I'm like I said, I think everybody's gonna have to pass the ball. I mean, catch the ball in here. I'm for real.
That's what I've been thinking.
And I'm sure that Javonte is good. Maybe might be like the anomaly, but hey, even Hunter Lipke was getting some, and they lining him out wide. And
he has tight end.
That don't excite me. Them lining them up out wide. I'd rather them let him get some running back stuff. And
I was saying, because we remember that game it was versus Miami, right? Like Hunter Lupke can move a little bit out space, and he has solid hands. And
it was.
Kyle Juszczyk.
I tweeted that
he can tote the rock inside the tap. He can do everything at running back. I think they don't utilize him enough.
I agree. That's something that I actually put in my notes, and I said it on the show with Sky. It was like, it was funny. I had a moment where I was like, oh yeah, Hunter Lipke's a running back. I mean, I just feel like last year specifically, your offensive line play was so poor. He had to be just an extension of the offensive line for a lot of the time, to where we did not get to see him do the things that we know he's capable of. So I agree. I got to see him in a few plays I saw him in. I was like, oh, he does have a little bit of speed in the open field. He does use his vision. It's not like impeccable vision, obviously, but he is a running back. So I heard y'all talking about it before I came on. You're going into this.
Cam Scatterbo. He's very campy.
Hey, don't say that name.
I'm just saying the traits are very similar.
Dog, it's really weird because
he's better than Cam Scatterbo.
I like the tape better than Cam.
I mean, I did too. To be honest with you, but,
So how y'all feeling? I heard y'all talking. Do y'all not feel good about where this running back is going into camp? Is that what?
I got a quick question for you. I was calling Jaydon Blue. I said, I put up Alvin Kamara's rookie year stats. Alvin Kamara had 13 touchdowns his rookie year and like 800 receiving yards, 700 rushing yards. So no, I'm not saying he's going to be Alvin Kamara's rookie year. I'm saying the way that he was utilized, because Jaydon Blue has been highlighting that he has receiver traits. DMV just highlighted something that I'm looking into Jaydon Blue and the running backs coach, Coach Kamara. He's Coach Eckler. You know they like to catch the ball. I'm starting to make a correlation like, okay, can we get a Alvin Kamara light? Maybe split those stats in half, but the way they use them will be similar. What do you think? Does that sound crazy?
No, it doesn't sound crazy. I think that's actually, I remember talking to a couple of scouts with the Cowboys when my second year of the draft show. And one of the biggest questions I had for them was this: we are seeing with the running back position, like, yeah, there's some guys that just run the ball and that's it. But the really good offenses have guys that can do receiver things because it's such a mismatch nightmare.
Yeah.
And you can move them around and manipulate in ways that you can't do with a guy that can't catch the ball. So it almost is like an expectation almost with most running backs now is that you need to be able to catch the ball. And I remember even asking Deuce Vaughn, Chris Vaughn, Deuce Vaughn's father, if that was something that they started working on. And he said, yes, his sophomore year, they started emphasizing receiving because they understand that that's kind of what the league is going to. So I want an offense that does that. I want an offense that it can see, like, dog, if I line him up on a linebacker, can't nobody catch him.
Right.
I've seen them use Saquon like that a bunch of times in Philly last year. Made me mad.
Yeah.
And I think that's where Jaydon Blue really his traits come into play because compared to Deuce, Jaydon has the ability to crease and cut and hit his head on a goalpost. So it's kind of that Tony Pollard.
He can route you up too. He can route you up too.
So I mean, going back to what you were saying, DMV, about him talking about being a receiver, I think that he's going to get the opportunity. So I think Rome, answering your question, I would probably view Jaydon Blue as a total yardage, receiving and rushing.
That's how you got it.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's how you can probably view him. I don't think he's going to be your ground and pound true running back. I think it's going to be Javonte, Hunter.
If he gets you 800 plus, I'll be generous. If he gets you 800 plus, like a perfect season, whether it's receiving, running back, like combined, and maybe like 4 or 5 touchdowns, I'm not going to go crazy. I'm ecstatic for a rookie.
Right.
Like, so
right.
we'll see.
Another thing too is when they were doing running back drills, Turpin was doing them, CD was doing them. I think we're gonna see a lot of different people. I think we're gonna see a lot of different people touch the ball. And I saw West Coast in here. What's up, West Coast? I saw him comment that, to temper yourself about what you're seeing in camp and things like that. I agree with that. But at the same time, this is a new regime. And if you are linked into Clayton Adams' system, this is how he get down with the get down. This ain't no fluff stuff. This is you go look at the Cardinals numbers. They were top 10 in every important running back aspect, and they didn't have stars. I mean, obviously, James Conner is a player, but they didn't have
James Conner can ball.
As a matter of fact, like
and
Clayton Adams.
Trey.
Yes,
Benson.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Trey Benson last year.
Absolutely. So I think like I understand fan sentiment with being careful at that, seeing stuff in camp and stuff, but I'm not going to not trust what I see consistently and also what the system tells me that they like doing as well.
Ain't nobody else got eyes out there. Y'all better listen.
I think the thing that makes me a little uneasy.
Yeah, you got quality eyes out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I ain't got to go to camp because my sister's crazy.
Exactly. she giving us
nuggets, bro. Don't put all that pressure on me.
Hey.
But what makes me a little uneasy though is something you just said. You was talking about Clayton Adams and how he likes to get down. And, we got all these guys that like to run the ball. And all we keep hearing about is how we're moving guys around to pass the ball with our running backs.
We're not going to see run plays really, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have to divert to receiving type stuff, I think, during this time because you really can't do nothing, physical at this point.
Yeah, I know.
But I do. But I get what you're saying. No, I get what you're saying. I don't want them to just be reliant on that. But if that is something that's going to be in this offense, it's going to make you better and it's going to make defenses. I want defenses to be stressed, dog. Yeah, I want them to be worried about what you are doing at every point on the field. You got CD and Pickens on the outside. You got Ferg in the middle. What are you going to do with the intermediate game? And if the running backs are going to torch people in the intermediate game to the flats, I'm for that. I want to be able to touch every blade of grass.
Mm-hmm.
What you got? I mean, I understand your
Yeah. I want to be able to do both, and that's kind of where I'm at. Like it is like I think it's more about intention. Like, what's our intention going into this year? And
thank you,
everything that tells me is the intention is for us to spread it out to throw it.
Yeah, DMV think we about to
throw it short or like.
See, I would agree with you. I would agree with you. Now, again, this is something I hope that maybe we can ask Clayton Adams, because them spreading out the ball and doing what they did last year and using their running back so much because they didn't have the receivers on the outside that they felt like they needed to do what they wanted to do. But that is important, and that's something to ask. Is like, we know they want to run the ball, but how? I think we have a little bit of an idea of how, but I'm telling you, they're gonna.
Can I ask you a question?
We also can understand though, sometimes depending on the type of pass, it's just an extension of the run game, right?
And that's what I was gonna say. That's what
like,
a lot of it was.
Like a screenplay, like those are like now if you're running arrow routes and different things with Jaydon Blue, that's more passing game. But if you're just swing it out to Jaydon Blue real quick, that's pretty much an extension of the run game. So it is
what makes it different. What makes it different? Because we've been kind of hearing that. We've been hearing Mike say that, and we've been hearing Schotty say that as the OC. So what makes it?
The way I think it's going to be different, honestly, is because once again, y'all, I don't think it was just Mike McCarthy's DNA. Like, it wasn't him in Green Bay. Like, the run game was a part of his offense, but it wasn't the focal point. If you go and backtrack Brian Schottenheimer through his history, and I did a video on that for weeks ago, every stop this has been run game. Like, he believes in it. So I think he's going to live and die about it. Now, is our quarterback going to do that? Well, that's a whole different
conversation. Better shut up.
You know what I'm saying?
No, West Coast got. I think West Coast is seeing what I'm kind of getting at. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got all these running dudes.
Is it about where the money?
Is the call gonna come from upstairs? And all of them, and like, if things ain't going how they wanted to, like, is this what they're trying to carry?
DMV, John Elway, how you extend your older quarterback's career? You better.
You handed the ball off. You handed it off.
Take some of it off his plate. You can't just keep being like,
I want to do that. That's what I've been talking about.
Thinking we paid you 60, you got to play like you paid you 60. Start thinking like we said.
Look why we drafted Zeke. Look why we drafted Zeke. That was to help Romo to extend. It was supposed to help Romo to extend.
Zeke was for Tony, right? Yep.
So we'll see. I think they're going to give Brian Schottenheimer an opportunity. My biggest concern when it comes to the run game, you go out there on the road versus Philly, you run the game versus that defensive front. It ain't working. Yeah, here we go.
I want to.
Bro. But here's my question to that. Ain't that what you brought Pickens here for?
Exactly.
There are going to be defenses that can make you one-dimensional. That's why you got guys out there.
We just need that counterpunch.
Yeah, that's why you got guys out there that make people have to think twice about trying to load the box and stuff. So to me, it's really hard to tell right now. Like I said, like I can tell you all the stuff I seen in OTAs. I can tell you all the stuff I seen in minicamp, but we ain't gonna know until we know.
Well, I got a quick question for y'all before the subject change, and this is more for the real ball watchers. Tuck, DMV, 2I. I be listening to you and Sky. Y'all said something real interesting about. It felt like it's about 3 weeks ago. Y'all was talking about different formations, and y'all was talking about literally having more of a bunch formation and not being as spread out wide like we usually do. That caught my attention, and I couldn't talk to it because I can't talk. I can't explain it like I would want to, but I got excited watching it, hearing y'all explain it. So you being able to have eyes on camp, does it look different as how it's been looking the last couple of years, just how we're lining up, etc.?
I'll say that there is a lot more. There were a couple of times in the competitive period. Actually, I say more than a couple times in the competitive period where the misdirection is working. And some of the stuff that they want to do pre-snap and right before the snap, they were also too. Some of the drills that they were doing on the running back side was, at one point in time, they were practicing going outside, coming back inside, and taking a toss, taking handoffs, kind of like that push motion we see San Fran do, where they get guys running starts and stuff like that. But when you talk about bunch formations and all that stuff, obviously play action is something I think is going to come back. It irked the hell out of me. I understand that the run game has not been that great, but play action just it's a second. Your run game ain't gotta be perfect. It literally is just to get the linebackers just to bite a little bit.
Just to bite a little bit.
And Dak has literally been one of the best quarterbacks with play action his whole career.
68%.
It felt like McCarthy just hated it. It did not make any sense to me. But yeah, I think when you talk about the bunch formations and stuff, go listen to Brian Schottenheimer's freaking press conferences last year. Every single time we got a chance to talk to him, he was saying, and I think that's why stuff changed. Because the media, we would be saying like, why isn't there consistent motion? Why isn't the motion actually, why doesn't there have intention? Why is there no intention and stuff? Shotty would get on the mic and be like, well, we should have went bunch here. We could have went spread here. He was saying this stuff last year.
McCarthy was stubborn though.
Mike was anti-motion. Like, I mean, he would say it, but he always had some snarky response. Like, you just don't want to be motion.
I kind of feel Mike though, man. Like, I know he was stubborn, but his back was against the wall. Everybody else's back was against the wall. Like, I mean, I don't know too many people that can work in those type of conditions.
Right.
Well, yeah.
My point is this, man. This ain't just your ball, man. This our team. You gonna have to stop being stubborn.
Hey.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, what they talking about in the comments? They talking about Kush? No.
Oh, the comments are crazy. You can't look at the comments sometimes. You got.
Oh yeah. That's a whole different.
It get wild.
Our chats are probably a little different than what you probably see on the regular.
Yes.
Shout out to the cartel. The cartel get active.
Pew pew.
I do my Saturday night streams. We be in here sipping there. It's different.
No, I mean, have a good time, dog. I mean, this what we do.
They vibe it. You got 1,000 people watching right now, so they all vibe it.
So I let them be. It's June 24th. They blessing us with their presence. I appreciate them watching.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. I mean, me and Scott touched on it. That is something that I did see in camp. Is that they're like loading up. I saw them do trips a lot, often, which I like because make defense have to think about something. Make them stressed out. Like, don't just line up and think you just better than the next guy. We've been
not when you got. I'm about to say names.
I like Turpin. I like Turpin with the guys we got on the outside, like in that speed. Like me and Double I can I share a conversation we had one time?
Yeah.
About how like we were talking about Turpin. And I know you were like, he's so valuable to the return game. And I'm just like, but I'm thinking like what we could do on offense with him and these other guys. Like, I mean, I think he could really be something in this offense.
See, here's the thing. I agree too, but I don't know. And this, I'm talking as like if I was a coach. With Turpin, his job is to set up your offense. I'm like when you look at Dallas's freaking when you look at their drives, dog. Before Turpin, they were starting inside the 6, the 7, the 10, and everybody was like, "Oh yes, Dak can drive the length of the field," and then we would be stressed out because they would get the length of the field, and then they get a penalty, and then
good old holding call.
You need a good mix of explosiveness and the ability to ball control in this offense. Turpin sets up the offense. And so I think and they didn't just pay him to be a returner. I see that. You can see that in the contract. So I'm like, and even in the uses we saw him in like OTAs and minicamp, they are going to use him as a receiver. They are going to do that, but it's kind of like, how much do you do it? And also too, you got 2 big dogs now, dog.
Right.
Like I know we're talking about all these different people touching this ball, dog. But
right.
Ferguson's in a contract year, Pickens in a contract year, CD just got his moolah. Like it's only so much of touches to go around.
I'll say this though. I think wide receiver 3 is going to be.
Why ain't gonna mention Tober's contract year? See, you know what I'm saying? You in Rome. See,
I almost said it. Hey,
Jalen Tober to the contract year too, man.
You know I got love for Tober. People fried me on Sky's show because I was like, if he have another 600.
Which that's the real cover 3. That's the real cover 3.
I'm like, oh, we need to keep him. But
I said we was just lining up, trying to go talent on talent. You can't be doing that with Big Tolbert out there, man. You can't just line up. You got to get something going on because they're in this game.
Who guarding all three of them, dog? That's what he said.
Look, I'm not. Hey,
You gotta
man.
guard all.
Tolbert ain't gonna embarrass me all year.
Oh, please. It wasn't embarrassing.
I mean, he had a decent year last year, bro.
He did.
And he can go to be wide receiver 3. I think he's in a good spot, man.
You want me to name the receivers I'll take over him? And I ain't even been in practice. Mingo, Trayshawn Holden. That's my sneaker pick. I've been hearing what you've been saying about Holden too. I like that.
See, he's
Trayshawn
the only
Turpin.
I think Turpin. So I just think about what Andy Reid would do with Turpin, bro, in this offense with those guys. He'll move him around.
Also, I think another key when it comes to Turpin is Coach Junior Adams, because the way that he was able to unlock a Tez Johnson in Oregon, he would be able to unlock Kevontae Turpin, the wide receiver.
That's why I like Holden, because Junior and him got a connection.
Right.
See,
so
the only thing is I do think, like, I agree on Turpin, y'all. I mean, I don't think that there's really anybody like if you have a slot corner that can deal with him, maybe. But if you get him lined up on a linebacker or something, dog, or even a safety, depending on, they're cooked.
It'll just hurt him on running plays because I know he ain't blocking nobody.
That safety eyes are going to have to respect him. You got to respect the whole field with him out.
You got to respect him. If you do a split field formation with him and Blue in the backfield, like, that stresses your linebackers, because you got to worry about them.
That's what I'm looking for. That's
why I'm playing Tucking Madden now.
Because I'm damn sure gonna do it.
But you gotta use him. But you gotta use him enough to where it's actually a threat. Like, if you're not gonna use him all the time, and he is gonna be a decoy, which I think he would be a fantastic decoy, you at least need to establish that this is a real thing, so people can come into the game being like, "Hey, yo, we got to keep an eye on that number 9."
That was one of the biggest things I hated about the McCarthy tenure, whether it was when Kellen was there, whether when Kellen left. We would sometimes show something that was like, what was that? And then they'd be like, yeah, that was that one time. You never seen it again.
Oh, yeah, that was no consistency.
Like the trips tight end thing.
Y'all gonna get this corner to Cooks in the red zone.
He had this one play he couldn't wait to use. You know what I'm saying? You're
right, we gotta if we need to be able to set some things up earlier in the season, make people respect it, make them remember it, and not just show it one time. We're like, that was fun. We about to go back to our same old thing all year.
Yeah, I mean, that's just kind of, when you look at the Dallas offense, it's so crazy to think about. But now with Pickens there, you're less stressed out about, like, the receiver situation and stuff, and you thinking about
that Pickens trade changed everything, bro. It changed
good at night, bro.
Now we're thinking about running back, and we're like, so I guess I'm about to ask my own question. So
here we go.
Does the Pickens trade make you a little less stressed about the uncertainty of what this running back room is going to look like?
Nope.
Or are you still as stressed?
I'm still as stressed because I think we can win 11 games. I think we can get to the playoffs, but it's like, when we get there, are we going to be able to play small ball? I think that in the playoffs, you have to be able to, play with the chains, don't turn the ball over. Sometimes you're going to have to punt, but you're going to have to play field position and all that type of stuff. And I just don't know if this running back room with what we're seeing,
we're not ready
yet. I have to kind of see it before I really believe it, if you get what I'm saying. Because, like, the last couple of years, they've been telling us something, and it's the least valued position on the team. And for some odd reason, we keep not valuing it, saying we want to run the ball, but then we, then we don't try, or we don't try and adjust. So I think that I like having Pickens because he can win outside of CD, but it doesn't make me, feel any better about the running backs.
So what are we looking at for this running back room? Go ahead, Tuck. My bad.
I'm a little bit different, because the way I look at the way this Cowboys team is built, I look at the schedule. We're going to have to air it out regardless, y'all. I know it sounds cute with this run game and all. Like, we got Kansas City, we got Detroit, we got Philly twice. We're going to have to put up points, right? So I feel like now I'm more comfortable this year with our running back room than I was last year, because I didn't like our wide receiver core and I didn't like our running back room. But I feel like if Dak has to press that button and throw 40 times, he's in a much better situation this year than he was last year. So it gave me a little ease of mind. But me personally, I wanted to go for all. I'm greedy. I want the threat in the backfield that you got to be cautious of, and also Pickens and CeeDee Lamb to go alongside with it. I just don't think that if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna still drop 7. Bracket CD, maybe bracket Pickens, and I want the Dallas Cowboys to beat me with their run game until proven otherwise. And I think that's the problem.
Think about our last time. The last time a game really counted was that Green Bay game.
Sorry, hero ball loading.
If a coordinator, if a defensive coordinator can tie our hands behind our back and say you can't have Pickens or CD, what you going to do? As Brian Schottenheimer has been saying in press conferences, it sounds good. We want to be able to run when they know we're going to run. Well, do you have confidence that we can do that right now? Because in that playoff game, we couldn't.
Hey, listen. As far as the offensive line goes, we can't tell because they're not in pads and all this stuff. Right. I do think Tyler Booker is going to be a really good player.
Like a dead savage.
Right.
I think Tyler Booker is
on the ground.
A really good player. I know you guys have talked about. Terrence Steele. I think he's going to be improved in this system. It's really the left tackle that to me.
What about the most important, Tyler?
Yeah, I think that's going to make or break whether this offensive line is going to be good, because the way in which Clayton Adams likes to run the ball, very conducive to this NFL, very versatile, but the guy's got to put it together. So I mean, I'm telling you, dog, if that left tackle can come on with it and that rookie can play, you should be able to move some people off the ball, dog.
So being in the building, like, how are you feeling about Tyler Guyton? Because he seems a little bit more confident. It feels like he's kind of put last year behind him, sis. But have you talked to him? Like, how is he kind of feeling, especially being with Coach Connor Riley as well?
One thing I will say is I do believe what Clayton Adams is asking for and what he typically asks for, and we heard Schotty say that, is more conducive to what he does well. His athleticism and all that stuff. Now, as far as his confidence goes, he does seem a lot more mature in the sense of understanding what the NFL calls for. And also too, there is like how big of a deal left tackle is in the NFL. Not saying that he didn't know that, but I just feel like maybe it took him a minute to understand, like, you got to stand up because the money is back here. And the money is coming back from a serious injury.
Right.
And if you can't do that, you're going to get out the way.
Right.
I think that kind of took him some time to understand, like, the severity of it. So I don't know. I think his mindset is better from people talking to him and see him around and things like that. He seems happy. And last year, I can attest to the fact that he had times where he seemed a little down and it seemed like he was struggling through some things. We need him to come on with it.
Right.
Like I want him to feel better, but we need him to come on with it, because I do think if he can come on with it, I can see Terrence Steele being better. I can see, even though Fowler was putting the pause.
Well, that's what Fowler do, though. You know what I'm saying? That's just what he do.
Dante Fowler is a problem.
Yeah.
That's why I'm glad he's back over here.
Yeah.
He's back over here.
Yeah, he should have never been gone. Should never been gone.
Right.
Yeah, I need him to. Yeah, I agree. So we need him to come on with it, because he, to me, is the deciding factor. You can hide Booker a little bit more, I think, but that left side, you can't really hide that. And I want my tight ends to be able to be receiving options.
All right, so I got you here, sis.
Waiting on that one.
The magic words. Tight end. Let's talk about this tight end room, because I feel like there's
go ahead and say the name. I know you're gonna say
with Span Ford, and thus far he's looked maybe tight end one-ish.
All right,
compared to Jake Ferguson.
You falling for the propaganda. Don't.
I'm just. It's what I'm hearing from the insiders. You know what I'm saying?
Who you didn't call me.
That's why I want to confer. I want to confer. But so what's your?
I say, hold on. Who else you talking to?
No. So this is how I view Brevin Spanford getting more time. I think this has more to do with Schoonmaker than it has to do with Jake Ferguson.
Okay.
I think it has far more to do with them trying
go
to
home.
push Brevin Span forward into you are tight end too. And furthermore, they're trying to build his confidence because that was one thing I talked to him about in the locker room when I did get to talk to him is that he's been known as the guy that can block. Obviously in Minnesota, that's what he did mostly. But he really wanted to tap into his athleticism, which he does have some athleticism. He does have some wiggle room. He could be a big receiving threat in the red zone because, baby, there's not that many people that can defend a 6'7" guy if he decides to bounce the ball.
Right.
So I think that's a big portion of why they're pushing him right now. And he is getting more snaps. Obviously, too, Jake Ferguson is technically like a veteran at this point. So it is very normal for them to give. But when they did competitive period, it was Jake Ferguson out there the whole time, obviously. But
how Ferg look?
He look normal. He look happy.
Everybody was just talking about Span forward. It make you start thinking,
hey,
hold up.
So
no. He looks himself.
Okay.
So is Ferg still going to the haircuttery or is he going to the barbershop? That's what I need to know.
He's not going. No offense to anybody in chat. He is not going to Great Clips. He definitely still going to a barber, like an actual barber that got plates being sold coming in and out the door.
All right, that's all I need to know. Ferg back.
Ferg back, baby. Hey, to DMV point, we thought we lost Ferg.
Yeah,
no.
Welcome back.
Don't
get it twisted, dog. Don't get it twisted, dog. Like we've talked about it. That concussion was hard on him. I don't think we could afford for him not to play, and I think he might have felt the urgency to play. But I never thought that he was 100% in where he needed to be, like mentally and stuff. And that's me. And that's not because I know anything or anything. I'm just saying, like, I think that concussion affected him more than what
that's fair
we talked about, and it was killing me. And he wasn't even like, let's not get it twisted. Teams knew that Ferg was important. They knew he was basically a two receiver.
He was putting hands and paws on Ferg.
They were lighting his ass up. So I do think that's part of it too. Now I will say I talked to Lunda Wells as well at an event, and he is definitely very interested in Fairweather as well.
Now talk about that.
Yeah, so Fairweather is interesting to me because when you go look at the tape, it's not like, I don't know. Did you look at any tuck?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Yeah. So nothing is just like, ooh.
Right.
Ooh. But then you have some things. That's who he reminds me of. A little bit. He reminds me a little bit of Brenton Strange in a sense that when he gets out in space, he's not super wiggly, but he gonna run through your face. Like that type of guy. And once he gets started, kind of like the bowling ball type guy, he's crazy athletic, y'all. Like you don't get to see it really in his college tape, but when you see him out there, like he's very athletic. What can he bring? As a matter of fact, dog, Lipke might be your 4 tight end.
Hey, that's our Kyle Hughes check. I'm gonna roll with it.
No, they might do that for the roster for cuts and stuff. I can see Lipke being that other guy, but Ferg, I think is fine. I think last year was it was abysmal.
This is an important year.
He had an MCL injury too, right?
He did. He had an MCL sprain as well that hampered him. Now that's something I definitely want to keep an eye out on as well. Just see how he bounces back from that. But I think that if Brevin Span Ford is better, it's good for this team. You were so limited in what you could do offensively, dog. You can't even really run 12 and have people respect you, dog. You can't really run 21 and have people respect it. I want defenses to respect both of your tight ends at the very least.
I'm not worried like I actually care, but it's telling that we talked about everybody, even the undrafted tight end, but we just skip right over Schoon. Like, that's crazy.
I mean, wrong.
He just talking about nothing. That's pretty telling that we ain't
I don't have a
lot at all.
It's just one of those things with him is that
either you got it or you got it. You know
I think the temperament that you have to play tight end is, I mean, obviously you're an extension of the offensive line, but dog, you gotta be okay with running through an MFer's face or MF running through your face consistently.
Mentality.
And also too, I felt like, and this is just me, y'all can tell me, but I feel like when your quarterback is giving you opportunities, to, to kind of boost yourself, and you are having drops or you're not consistent, things like that, it don't take long to like. And one thing I did notice from Dak, even in OTAs and stuff, is his body language when Schoonmaker would drop a pass.
Oh, expound on that.
No, I'm not expounding because y'all gotta.
Yeah. Hold on, bro. Now, hold on, because people be clipping. We'll be on ESPN tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Dak has bad body language. Hold on, bro.
Clip. You right, Tuck.
No, I'm not expounding. I'm just saying that it could be one of two things. It could be he's irritated and he want him to come on with it, or he understands like, dog, you got to come on, and he's trying to push him. Because Schoonmaker has had injuries coming into camp the last couple of years too, or had something like, I think last year he had a cleanup surgery. He had a cleanup surgery or something. And the year before that, he actually got injured. He can't do that this year. I almost cussed. He can't do that this year. He got to come on with it. And
I got you too. You can't do that shit this year.
Do you think? So one, I feel like that Ferguson should take a leap naturally, because having two guys on the outside with Pickens and CD will help, but also having Clayton Adams. And we know what Clayton Adams did with my guy, Mike McCarthy's guy, and Trey McBride. I feel like you could see that uptick with Jake Ferguson. But do you see a situation where they could possibly say, Luke, all right, bro, enough's enough? You know what I'm saying? And kind of go with 3 tight ends, including Hunter.
That's what I was saying. That's what I was saying is I do think it's put up or shut up time for him. I do think that this is like this first couple of practices in camp and stuff like that. Like, one thing I will say about Schotty, and I know people have said it before and we've heard coaches say it, I firmly believe that if you ain't getting it, you getting off the field.
If Schotty, if they cut somebody like a Schoon, I ain't trying to hate on Schoonmaker's career, wish him the best.
No.
My point is, it would send such a message that we ain't seen in Dallas in so long. Well, if he got cut, it would change things.
Well, ain't Schoon McCarthy's dude?
Oh yeah, that was McCarthy's guy.
Yeah, because they didn't get him as guy the year before. You know what I'm saying? So he threw a little hissy fit. You know what I'm saying? He threw a little hissy fit. Like, I'm leaving with something. I'm leaving with something. You know
I guess the conversation is, how can you justify, like, if it's Schoonmaker and Lipke, you might be rolling with Lipke, because Lipke's going to give you special teams.
Ain't no
Lipke's going to help you block on the outside. Like, Lipke is going to do.
Lipke was looking good last year. He really was coming to do his own.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, so for Schoonmaker, he has to add. Like, we expected for him to even be a better blocker than what he's shown us he is. And I want the kid to be good. Like, don't get it twisted.
Right.
If he's good, the team's better. Nobody's praying on these people's downfall. But we don't got time. But we don't got time for you getting blown up by.
That's what I'm talking about.
We don't have time for you lining up offsides. We don't have time for you blocking. You losing the ball in the freaking end zone. We need another reliable tight end, so you can change your formation, so you can be deceptive. You need somebody that can do that. And I'm like, I want him to get it, but if he's not getting it early, y'all, let's give it to somebody else and let's go.
Was saved last year due to John Stevens' injury.
I feel like I forgot about him.
Because go ahead.
No, I'm listening.
I feel like that's what kind of saved him last year. So I feel like this year, it's going to be hard, because if he doesn't take the leap, and I think this is a good question for you, sis, because we've been talking about the spirit of competition. Like, I feel like it should be a case, like, we know you was a 2nd round pick. We know we spent some high value, but if you're not getting it, you got to go. I think that's going to be an interesting nugget to see who could be that this offseason. I think Mozzie will just be safe just by process elimination with the position, but there are some 2nd round guys. If you're not turning that corner, we possibly need to move on and add some other value.
They're not cutting Sam.
Summer Sam might be, bro, because they got a.
I mean,
I think it would be. I don't think they're going to do that, because I think it would be a little inhumane given the fact that he's coming off of ACL. I don't think that they're that.
Sam, that's not Eberflus's dude, and you know what I'm saying.
Edge.
It's not. It's not. But I do think.
They're not cutting
I don't
Sam,
think
dog.
that
If you don't have a good camp, he could be on the.
I think Sam gonna have a great camp. They're not cutting Sam.
I don't think they're gonna cut Sam. Now I will say, if Sam hasn't, he's coming off an injury, so it's hard. But
Right.
Marshawn Nealon, if he gets back to the form that he was before he got
Right.
injured, the run stopping ability is this. He came out there like a grown man last year.
Yeah, he did.
I mean,
He got the
it was
strength.
Right.
evident, very clear. This guy can shed, he can stack, and he's going to tackle. So for me, I think that is going to be the deciding factor, because I know that this defense is really, and we hear it every year, but Eberflus is a trusted defensive end. They really want to stop the run. Like, that's obviously what they want to do. But that NASCAR package is just going to be.
And
that's what I'm excited about.
With Nealon, you have Donovan, who just drafted as well.
How Donovan
Turner. Donovan's
Peyton
fine.
Turner.
Donovan like that, ain't he?
He's
Who
a
I
dog.
think they're looking
I mean,
for.
listen to all these edges y'all naming. Somebody coming, man.
That's what I'm saying.
listen.
Somebody got to go.
Somebody got to go, dog. That's what I'm saying.
Now,
Like,
now, has there
Turner.
been anybody since that's been playing rotational edge in 3-tech like Sam or Nealon, or have they all been on the perimeter?
So that's something that Nealon told me, and I thought he could do because of the size. I mean, because he's so close to 300 to be his size, to do some things in the middle, maybe. But I don't even know if you need that anymore, because Solomon Thomas seemed like he's about to be a big dog. Like, Solomon Thomas is definitely going to be the best. I am so happy that they got relief for Oso Digizua. To me, the Solomon Thomas pickup is going to help Oso Digizua's longevity. That's what I think. But I will say, this edge conversation is interesting, y'all, because part of me is like, no way they're gonna cut Sam. No way, because he's coming back.
Cut him. You can trade him.
But even
coming
off ACL.
I mean,
they gonna cut Peyton Turner, y'all. Come on, y'all.
Maybe, but Peyton Turner seems like somebody they want to help stop the run on the run. I think people are gonna have. I think it's gonna be rotation, and people are gonna have their roles.
You know what's funny? The reason why I think they might keep most of them is that the Aaron White-Cotton thing. He's real big on rotation.
Right?
And you need players if you're gonna be heavy rotation.
So we have Micah, Fowler.
So is that why we're gonna go? We're gonna go
Nealon, Sam, Turner. That's 6 edges.
I can see 6.
I mean, and you low key, you need all of them,
right?
Because
I feel like you need all of them, depending on what you do.
You don't go short at 1-tech. You know how we do.
Oh yeah. and just Mozzie defensive. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all, please.
Y'all know Micah can play some one.
Right.
Y'all, please. No. Seriously though, what is the conversation? What is it? Is that mosquito? Jesus. What is the conversation about 1-tech? How are we feeling? I will say I didn't see that much from Mozzie, but I will say he looks very lean. He looks faster.
Is that good or bad?
No. All I know is because the thing about 1-tech is that it's not all
size.
Heavy in the ass. Right. It is also too understanding.
See, y'all can't pause me because
you bringing up some good points.
You bring up some good points
about
it's not all about that. It also is about feel and understanding and things like that. And I think I do think towards the end of last season, and Tuck, you can tell me, DMV, you can tell me, all y'all, like, I thought that we saw improvements in him understanding the run.
For sure.
Because it's one thing to play it, it's one thing to understand it and be like, you know what? I can see that this guy likes to cut inside right here. He's been doing this. I see his tendencies. I felt like he was reading the offenses a little bit better as the season went on. And honestly, now that you actually got interior help from the 3-tech position, he can just sit there and be large and do nothing. I mean, Eberflus isn't going to make him have to do pass rush.
He definitely still strong, I'm sure.
No, he looks strong, but I will say he looks fast. He looks faster. Oh, who the hell else is 1-tech on this team?
Toya.
But I'm flirting with the idea.
Go ahead. What you got?
I'm flirting with the idea of Linville back. The veteran. I thought he played well last year. I would like to have him back just for insurance.
They better go get somebody young. No disrespect to Linval.
No, but I'm
Appreciate
saying they already got Mozzie. I think Mozzie's gonna get a lot of snaps. Toia, they
And see,
probably got
that's
some
what
plans for
scares
him.
me though, DMV. Mozzie a lot of snaps for a guy
Well,
who
I think
historically has
That's
low
why I
gas
want
mileage,
Linval. That's
you know?
why.
well, Toia, that's why they brought him in. I know
He's so
I don't know
young,
why
though.
people are saying Toia's a camp body. You lying to yourself.
Yeah, I don't think he's
I
a
don't think he
camp
a
body,
camp
but I'm
body.
not
I
going to
just-
rely
Hell
on
no, he
him
can
to
play.
Nah,
be a.
he's not
I'm
a
not
gonna
going
camp
to
get
body.
rely on him to
experience.
be an
He gonna get his
impact
ass
player.
whooped in the first couple games
Yeah,
until
I
he
just don't
figure
wanna
it
put
out,
that
like
much
you
on him.
said.
Yeah,
Like
no.
DMV, yeah.
His size obviously stands out. You gotta have some size, dog. I'm sorry. Like you can't just go into this season thinking that you don't need anybody to clog up the middle. And I think that's
Right.
what he's gonna do. His feet are a little quicker than what I thought, though.
Seriously?
Did you see that? Yeah, Toia's.
Yeah, I
Like,
mean, yeah, I mean, if I'm keeping a buck, I like Jay's film out of UCLA than I like Mozzie's out of Michigan.
you know what's so crazy? I said this on Lou's show. Shout out to Lou. I saw you in the
Shout out to
comments.
Lou's Takes.
When I
That's
was
my
at the
dog.
Senior Bowl, because I be creeping. When I be going, I be creeping. I be over here with my little iPad just walking around because people don't expect me. That's a mosquito. I don't even know how the mosquito.
I'm tweeting
Y'all-
that 2 eyes there in a life battle with a mosquito.
Y'all,
Right, mosquito,
please.
right.
I took my dog out and one of them got in
Hey, look,
here.
I've been watching Stranger Things. That's 11.
DMV told me I got to
No.
get on there.
No, seriously. I
this
was
weekend.
creeping and I kind of keep my ears low to the ground and stuff during Senior Bowl practices.
Mhm.
I heard several scouts mention that Toia fell. Well, they thought he would fall because there is a lack of. I can't explain. There are some teams that value the nose tackle, but we have gotten away from the true nose tackle. We've gotten away from that. Most teams, you might have a couple guys in there that really can like clog the hole, but at the same time, most teams want guys to get upfield. And I think from what I heard, it sounded like people thought he was going to take a drop because of that, because of the lack of pass rush ability, and because this was such a deep class. So I think that I think he can develop into a formidable rotational one tech guys. Like, I mean, y'all don't think so?
I just want one more vet.
I mean, I agree.
That's it. I just want one more vet, a nice quality vet. When there's no Vita Veas laying around in the street, so I'm not saying that, But if you get, I know cuts are going to happen, and you got Linval out there probably just waiting for a call. Somebody like DMV ain't wrong for wanting that. We just want one more vet, so we not putting the weight of the world on Toya's shoulders. Like you got to be that. I just don't want to do that.
I do think you need to pick up another veteran. Like you absolutely have to. Now, have you guys looked and seen who's available?
It's kind of thin. I mean, it is kind of thin. And I think
you might want to ask Boston though. They might.
Yeah, I mean,
are you in here?
Conversation, but it's just like I started looking. I was just like, nah, you know what I'm saying. So it would have to be more of a trade for me, honestly. But who's going to bring in that value? Because I know we brought in also the other kid, King Basote, right? He's more of an interior.
He's like a 3 though, right?
Yeah, he's more of a 3 tech upfield pass rusher guy. So it might be a situation where it's Mozzie and just another upfield guy. And we just brought in Perion Winfrey, who me personally, I loved coming out of OU. I talked about this kid nonstop. Now I know he had the off the field issue, but if they can find something with this kid, it's there, y'all.
You got my confidence back up on him, Tuck, because I dismissed him.
Perion Winfrey from OU.
Oh,
Winfrey from the UFL.
I just missed him, Tuck. You got me.
Just because we ain't get Jair. Because we ain't get Jair, everything was trash that day.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if you go back to his college film at OU, like this kid was everywhere. Now I'm not sure where he's been mentally since he had his off the field stuff. But I talked to Gerald McCoy the other day, because he's OU guy, defensive tackle, and he's good connected with him. He's like, hey, it's there if you can just bring it out of him. So I feel like there's another kid where it's like it's a project because he has the frame, he has the size, he has the motor. But once again, I think he's going to be more 3 tech-ish, right? So I think when it comes to just your traditional 1 tech, y'all,
somebody gonna get cut. We're gonna be able to get
it's far.
Right.
That's what I was gonna say. That's all you can count on is that somebody's gonna be like, hey, we don't have enough humans here, or we have too many humans here, and we got to cut somebody. But that's the thing
Right.
about one tech, like we just said, it's almost a luxury position if you have a veteran there.
What's
It's almost
God doing? What's my man we sent to Seattle doing? What he doing?
Hankins.
What Hankins doing? Go get Hankins.
He probably chilling. Unc. We used to call him Unc in the locker room.
Big Hankins, yeah.
It had me screaming.
Hankins had a YouTube channel, a cooking channel.
Yeah, man, I was mad when Hankins left.
Hey, I'm about to say, didn't we have a one tech last year and we sent him back to Buffalo?
And he turned up when he got to Buffalo.
He back a free agent. He back a free agent too.
Jordan Phillips faked them injuries, you know what I'm saying? Because he was probably pissed off at Zim and went right to Buffalo.
No, I thought he said he wasn't hurt. I thought they faked the injury.
Oh, yeah, somebody faked the injury.
What are we talking about right now?
Remember Jordan Phillips from last year we brought in? And they told him that he had the hand injury. And he was like, my hand ain't hurt to play.
Game. He just wanted to fight. He wasn't even trying to play football no more.
He just wanted to throw hands real quick.
I agree. I do think that it is necessary to if they got one more defensive tackle, and if Stephon Gilmore
I was about to cough and say Stephon Gilmore.
I would be happy. I would feel much more comfortable going into the season.
Just next time you see him walking around the stars, it's just lock the door. This man,
not come up there.
Where you going? Where you moving so fast?
Hey, he showed up hang out. And he showed up at the hang out. He showed up at the family function as the ex and said, "Yeah, oh my bad. Yeah, I left some here. Like I'll see y'all later."
DMV. I bet you he got a physical when he came up there.
He probably chilling because he understand that like
he not doing no camp.
He ain't doing no camp.
Man, his ass going to the Ravens.
No,
be quiet, DMV.
Why would you say that? I'm for real, y'all. Like
because the Ravens get every damn body. The Ravens is trying to win.
I literally been praying about it. Like, please, Lord, like because we've seen it.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying?
Don't go to the Ravens. Don't go to the Ravens. Don't go to the Chiefs. Don't go to the Eagles.
If we go to the Eagles, I would lose it.
I would prefer that he just, they just sign him. And
what about Asante Samuel Jr.?
I think we could get jiggy with Asante, but it's
Tuck, don't get mad. I'm just asking. Tuck got mad instantly.
Breaking news. Chiefs signed Asante Samuel Jr. $6 million
deal. Be an Eagle. It pissed me off.
Yeah, I'm just. What position is worrying y'all the most right now?
Corner
3, running back, corner DT. We already talked about it.
I think if we address those, I feel way better about this team. I still think this is a playoff team. I'm talking about getting over the hump. I just don't think we have enough right as it stands right now.
Yeah, are we talking inside corner? Are we talking nickel corner or boundary?
I'm talking all of them. I'm talking all of them because
I'm putting Bland in a nickel.
Because I would probably say the reason why, right? I feel like Trayvon will probably be pup, right? Duran is he going to play on the inside or outside? He probably wants that outside money. So
Bland got to stop being selfish. He want to play on the outside because he wants the money.
He wants the money, right? But it's like
when you that money, hell yeah.
Bland, it's the new culture. It's about the team.
And you got Kyrie
Bland about that brand.
So he'll probably be on the boundary. I haven't heard much about Kalen Carson.
That makes me mad, man.
I've heard about Izzy. They say Izzy been doing better on out, which I thought he was an outside corner anyway.
Izzy, y'all, he just doesn't get his opportunity, and I'm sick of trying to figure out why.
He's getting it now. He has played in every practice. He was out there on the boundary. Now they were rotating guys at some point in time, but anytime they was in competitive period, he was on the boundary, and he's going up against George Pickens. And he'll win some, he'll lose some. Like that competition.
He got mad at who was that? He got mad at Tommy Yard. He was
hey, bro. He got some stops too.
He's saying I get beat every down.
I said, Izzy.
But see, I love Izzy, but I just can never figure out why he never got the opportunity.
I think it was a mixture of. I'll say these two things, and Izzy and that's my dude. I'll say. It's a mixture of two things. I think that them moving him to safety was like, what the hell? Okay. I spent my whole collegiate career playing well at corner and I get here, you move me to safety, and I don't even get to play safety. I think it was also a little bit about the room and the veterans that were in the room too. And also too, Izzy is a fireball.
I
And
like
Yeah.
that though.
that's what I'm gonna say. I think Izzy is a fireball. I think
And we
that
don't like
his-
fireballs.
And see, and that's why I think he had to pause, if you will, rub someone the wrong way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he
Because-
talks. You ain't got to.
Nah, you do. The chat be going crazy.
Yeah.
You gotta
Our chat's a
pause
little
and
bit
have
different. You know what I'm saying?
I listen. As the only woman here, I am praying that y'all are freed from the shackles of pawn. It seems exhausting.
Chat, sis.
Free from the
Talk
pause
to our
theory.
chat.
It's
Talk to
exhausting.
our-
But all right, no, dog. Seriously, yeah, y'all gotta let it go. But
Some stuff just be real bad though. Like
Yeah, you know.
just let it go. Whatever, man. Whatever
You
y'll do amongst
distracted
each
It'd
other,
be
y'all
1,000
do
clips on Twitter talking about, oh, Jay Tuck said Izzy
I'll
was
tell y'all
rubbed the
one
wrong
thing, though.
way.
Look, shout out to Izzy. I'm not calling Kalen Carson seat. That is car seat. It's anything but seatbelt. He
Car
can't be
seat
called
is
car
insane.
seat.
Does
That's
he?
it.
Why does Kalen Carson not get a mulligan?
said car
We wanted
seat.
Tyler
His name is
Guyton.
car seat until further notice.
I'm not laughing. I'm not
Yeah.
laughing because
I think Kalen Carson deserves a mulligan, y'all. I really think he does.
I will say this: he was hurt. I give him that. I can't wait for camp.
So
I can't wait for camp.
this is one thing. This is what I will say. I even initially watching Kalen Carson's tape, and I think me and you, I think we talked about it. Like when I first watched him, I think I touched base with you about him. He was feisty, dog.
That's why I liked him.
He was not easily phased. Like it was so much about him. He came up and tackled. And we know with corner how big confidence is. Number one, the Cowboys pass rush wasn't even pinching
it was bad.
I almost cussed. Wasn't even pinching a B word at the beginning of last year. And I think with a young corner like that, dog, like that's killer, dog. And I think part of it was his confidence got shot. And also, too, the injury happened and stuff like that. The problem with Kalen Carson is he does have an injury history. This is something that they knew when they drafted him. Again, this is a 5th round guy, so come on. But also, too, I thought he would be better suited in the nickel when I first watched him. First time I watched him, I saw a nickel corner. I don't think that anybody is freaking talking about how much the loss of Jordan Lewis is affecting what's going on right now.
Of course it
is. It's a major loss.
And
should have just paid my boy.
That's funny. We got the money. That's we
had the money, bro. We sitting on money.
It is. We like our guys.
Like
it's really time to like the ones you're supposed to like, bro. Like Jordan Lewis was a veteran guy who you drafted, who's battled back from injury, who is coming off one of his best seasons at a very important position. Now it's the time that we like our guys.
I think pay him, and we ain't worried about. We're not talking about corner right now. I don't think if
we're good.
Make that move.
I think it's a lot to ask of any of them outside of DeRon Bland, because the way that Jordan Lewis, I remember I asked him what makes the nickel so hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he was like, y'all don't play. What makes the nickel so hard to play? Because y'all ain't got no sense in this place. What makes
you fine? They would kill us.
It's them. These viewers, it's these 1,200 viewers that's watching. Salute to everyone watching right now. Like the chat, like the comments.
It was explained to me in the way he explained it. He said that you are the bridge between the first and second level. Everybody thinks it's the linebacker, but when you're in nickel, it's you with the linebackers. Like they control so much of the communication from point A to point B. It is such a big responsibility. And also, too, you asking your nickel to come up on the edge and tackle, dog. You asking your nickel to set the edge sometimes. You gotta be a dog to do that. And I'm that is the part that, as a matter of fact, I'm more worried about the nickel than the boundary corners. It's that important. We see too many offenses.
Who would play it? I mean, I know the
that's kind of why. That's kind of why I'm like
Bland in the nickel. Stop playing.
It might be like that. It might end up being that because, dog, how many times all y'all watched tape last year? How many times did you get on film, watch the other team, and you say, "Hey, none of them run with CD in the slot. None of them."
Right.
Yeah.
Nickel corner is also one of those positions that I think goes understated, and that's why I thought Jordan Lewis didn't get love before then. But yeah,
Right.
I think if
Yeah.
people find favorable matchups in the middle of your offense, your defense rather cooked.
You're right, Lou.
Yeah, I've seen him manhandle Cooper Cup multiple times.
She killed that mosquito.
It's just simple. If everyone's healthy, we're Bland going. Because they're not gonna put Diggs in the slot.
I mean, Bland needs to play the nickel, right?
If
now that
everybody
Jordan
healthy,
Lewis is gone.
Revel,
Right.
if everyone's healthy and Revel's a starter, they're not putting Revel in the slot.
Oh, yeah. I mean, so everyone's healthy. Diggs boundary. I mean, Kyra be boundary. Revel be boundary.
And Bland will be if everyone's healthy, but we know that's not how things are starting. So,
Yeah,
but I
they-
do
they
think when
big
when everyone's healthy, you can kind of move some stuff around. Now, another guy that I am keeping my eye out on because they have had him in the slot, and I do think outside of Bland, he might be your best nickel corner right now, is Keemon Hall. I know that he ain't got a whole bunch of
Forgot
experience.
about Keemon Hall.
I know he don't have a whole bunch of experience, y'all, but they are rolling him out there with the twos as the nickel when they're doing competitive period. So I think they see something in him, but also too his feet are quicker than any corner. His transitions, when I'm saying from his back pedal to his drive, is faster than any other corner I saw during drills with them. And it's just drills, but you can tell from footwork. Like if drills are just drills, then why do they do them? I don't want to hear that crap. Don't start with me in the comments. But I just Keemon Hall's a guy to keep an eye out on if they do decide to just put Bland on the outs. Now I will say, Kyrie
I forgot about Elam.
Has done that. Elam's interesting.
He's not gonna be boundary though.
He is gonna be boundary, but we still haven't talked about him, and I think that the thing I've been looking for with Elam, because shout out to my girl Bree from Girls Talk Boys Talk. She's fantastic. She's for CBS. She works for CBS. She covered the Bills for a while. She kind of gave us the scoop on him, and she said the athletic profile is completely there. Completely.
It's insane, sis.
He's a sick athlete, y'all. But
well,
it was the confidence with him. It was the, how does he respond to the adversity and things like that. And so for me, what I've been looking at is his body language, his fire, how he responds. He's going up against, because listen, Pickens was everywhere. So he's going up against Pickens. He's going up against CD. How's he responding to this? He's the only guy that has had PBUs every practice.
Pickens been giving people that work.
He's having PBUs.
It only makes it better too. It makes that corner better.
Y'all, and the secondary can't really put hands and feet on people. So
that's true. They don't have rights to the ball right now. That's true.
Bernard Fields, you are not funny talking about Andrew Booth. They had Andrew Booth.
Hey, y'all got to turn our chat off too. I'm about to jump in.
Yeah, I'm telling you, hey, snipers, man, y'all got them ratchets on you. Y'all know that. Y'all being polite because we got a superstar in the building. Hey, shoot these clowns in our chat. You know what I'm saying?
I done shot a couple of them. I done shot a couple of them myself. I done got my hands dirty, bro.
He's not a clown. He just said,
No, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about this Willy Wonkas and all.
I got Willy Wonka up out of there, bro.
Hey,
I got my hands dirty. I don't even got to tell them.
Hey, man. I got people that find people on the internet. If that's really what you want to do, especially with them N-words you throwing around, it's weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's fast, y'all. He's really fast. He can recover. Elam is, if y'all, I really hope that he shows up, because if he hits, it's gonna take some stress off of kind of how.
You think that's why they not thinking about Gilmore? Is he playing that well?
I think he's interesting. He will get your attention.
That's respectful.
I can't, but again, we cannot. I can't. It's hard for me because they can't press. They can't do anything. They can't jam. They can't do anything. They
can't about to tell us so much stuff.
The Mike McCarthy fawns, you know what I'm saying?
But also tell us so much, yo.
He's going up against the best thing about our secondary, they going up against two of the best every practice. Every practice. Yeah. So we want to get
last year versus Tolbert.
It looked but if Tolbert's your 3 guy, he gonna cook.
Right.
If he's your favorite, he's gonna cook.
We're only hating on one, bro. Stop hating on one.
You need to take that number off. I'll stop hating.
but I'll say this, like Kyer Elam out of the University of Florida. I love this kid's film. Like, I watch so much Florida because of Kyle Pitts. But it's like I love Kyer Elam coming out of Florida. Like the athletic profile, like Iisha just said, it's all there. Now I didn't follow him in Buffalo because I'm not watching no Bills football like that, right?
Yeah.
But if you can bring it back to what he really had coming into the draft, the Cowboys got them one, right? Because it was all their coverage, feet, size, athleticism. He fit the whole Dan Quinn profile. But he'll be a boundary guy. So it's like, all right, Trayvon. I know there's been some articles about Trayvon getting released. I don't think that's going to be the case, right? Trayvon gets healthy. I don't think he's going to start the season, to be honest with you. Revel, I don't want to rush this kid back either coming off that knee. So if I'm thinking week 1 is probably going to be Bland,
Elam,
and then Izzy. Cool.
Izzy. That's what it's been.
Cool.
That's what it's been. I'm trying to tell. And then also too, they did this really cool thing that I talked about, very similar to San Fran, where it's I can't explain it. It's cover 2. It's cover 2, but they kind of have Izzy as like a robber.
Okay.
And he's kind of adjacent to
Ashley funny, defund the Cowboys.
No, Ashley. He's kind of adjacent to the corners, but he's kind of like he's a robber. He's kind of like an extra guy. Actually,
he's playing like hook. He's playing like hook the curl the flats type stuff.
Yeah. Like kind of how they use how San Fran uses Ufunga. Is that how you say his name?
Ufunga.
Okay, got you.
How they use him, where you like they're showing cover 6 or whatever the case may be, but then he drops, or it's you don't expect for him to come cover. It looks like that's how O explained it to me. It looks like it's middle of the field open, but it's really closed.
And guess what?
I like that.
Isn't that what we did against Tampa Bay when we won that playoff game and Izzy had to play in the slot?
Izzy was cooking that game.
And also, Eberflus likes to do that with his safeties, right? So he'll give you 2 high looks, but he'll rock his safeties, right? So whether it's a robber look or sometimes he'll do what's called a rat look, where it'll be the linebacker dropping down instead. So he likes to stagger his his safeties, where it typically starts off as 2 high, and then they'll rotate. So we'll talk about the safeties here in a second, because that's another question I have. But I think Izzy, he has to be utilized, right? It's time. I didn't send enough tweets. I didn't did enough film breakdowns. I just feel like the Cowboys' underutilization of Izzy Mukuamu has been embarrassing.
We had all these different coaching regimes. People got their favorites. I'm happy to have some stability, some coaches with some multi-year contracts. Let's see if that's going to be
especially like you said, after he played in the playoff game, bro. You know what I'm saying? He went from playing in the playoff game to there's Josh Butler. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what? Hold on, what's going on?
I think it's one of those things where it's like, he kind of got lost in the shuffle with everything going on. I think a fresh start has been good for him, and I think it will be good for him with the new regime. But I'm telling you, anytime they was playing and Bland was in the slot, it was Izzy on the boundary, and it was.
But he didn't look lost though. He looked good out there, right?
No, yeah, he doesn't look lost. But the thing about Izzy, and this is the downfall of him being tall, is that it's great that he's tall, but his ability to turn and run isn't always.
Right.
He's not snapping. He's not snapping into that turn. It's a little bit of a slower transition into the turn. So I'm keeping an eye on that. But he and Pickens had it a couple times in practice.
AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. I'm about to have nightmares tonight. All right.
but Eberflus, right? They play a lot of zone. They play in phase, meaning, you know what I'm saying? So he can keep his eyes on the ball.
Yeah, phase.
It depends on the matchup. Yeah, I'm not putting Izzy on no AJ Brown like hell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I noticed though tonight?
The wrong way you earn your check. There you go. Go get it, AJ.
But who's the cat in Tampa that was killing in the slot? Because he did well against him. I can't remember his name. He got hurt.
Was it?
Godwin. It was Godwin.
Godwin.
Basement boys said, the game.
It's a theme you've been saying, and I've been noticing, and I'm hoping that this new, I know y'all hate the buzzword, tuck it, DV, this new culture, this new energy the new coaching staff and stuff. I'm hoping that the new environment for the players is big because I've heard her say confidence for about 3 or 4 players. And when everyone's like looking over their shoulder because they worried about keeping their job, they don't have time to be trying to bring someone along that might have lost their confidence. It's a different type of environment last year. It was really like dog eat dog the way our team was put together. You know, Mike was on the way out. You know, a lot of writing was on the wall. So I'm hearing it for Guyton. I'm hearing it for Carson. I'm hearing it for Izzy a little bit. I'm hoping that, and for Elam, I'm hoping that this new environment, that's what I need to see. I need them to have stack good days in camp, keep that confidence up, because last year I really do feel like it was one of those environments where it's just like, I don't got time to help you with your confidence. I'm trying to keep my job.
Yeah, and sis, let me ask you this question. From a cultural standpoint, what's the biggest difference you're seeing in the building? Yeah, we're hearing it everywhere.
I'm really excited to talk about this because I said it. It's interesting to me, and I Ashley, you my girl, but it's like here's the thing.
She got mad. You know, about culture.
No, that's my girl. That's my mama girl. She know that. But
Ashley didn't turn heel.
But I want to say,
Ashley didn't be in Vegas in September.
Say,
you know
Ashley living her best life. She probably got a good snack. She probably curled up right now. Hey, girl. But I'm gonna say this, and I'm about to say a cuss word, just so y'all know. I'm about to say a cuss.
Let it fly.
What the fuck y'all want? What the fuck do we want?
That's the type of 2 I want.
Like, Are we like we talk about the locker room, dog? I'm telling you, that's where it starts, bro. Like, and I understand why a lot of people have their skepticism about Brian Schottenheimer. We got to see it, all this stuff. Totally understandable. Again, I'm not talking to you, Ashley, but again, but
she cursed at me. I felt that's funny.
I'm sorry, y'all, but Brian Schottenheimer's he's new to being a head coach, dog, but he's not new to instilling, confidence and turning over like what a locker room feels like. I remember I talked to Dak about it when we first got in the locker room the year before last year, when Schotty first got here. I asked him like what he brings to the team, and he was just like, he just talks to everybody. It is an open forum. We can bring suggestions. We can do. That's not something we've had here. And furthermore, the stuff that I'm telling you, do yourself a favor and go listen to Brian Schottenheimer talk football. He understands football. And not only does he understand football, he understands what football is today and what is relevant to win today. And so for me, if you're not sure about Schottenheimer, let's start from the coaching staff. You got some of the best in here. How many times, Rome, how many times have we talked about going up against another team and we don't think that the person with the clipboard gives us an advantage?
No, you're right. You're 1,000% right.
I think you upgraded at the wide receiver coach position. I think you upgraded at and again, I think you
upgraded naming the ones I ain't like Blasco, Solari.
Yeah, I think you upgraded at the OC position. Running back, you upgraded. I think you upgraded. And not only that, with the OC, Clayton Adams is one of the best. You got Connor Riley, one of the best. And you got Junior Adams, one of the best. You got Eberflus, one of the best as far as
I like the defensive staff too.
That's what I'm saying. That's where it started for me, was the fact that they were able to even go get a Junior Adams, that they were even able to go out there and get a Connor Riley, who was touted. People wanted this person.
I was proud of them the way they went after our subsidiary coaches. I ain't gonna lie.
Clayton Adams was the Cardinals. I'm telling you, I went and looked at their shows. Sick. Impressed.
And I'll tell you guys right now, we got 2 years of Clayton Adams, if lucky, because he's gonna get snatched.
Yeah, no.
That's
yeah,
why.
Sure, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Shotty said it. They're gonna snatch my coaches.
He gonna get snatched quick.
And that's we're gonna. How many times we experience that and be like, darn it. No, we're gonna be sad when some of these guys go.
Right.
And that's my point, is that it started there with, okay, let's get better with the folks with the clipboards, please. I think you did get better. And then you also go to the draft. Kind of was like, I think y'all have a plan, but I'm still a little confused, but I'm just going to go with it.
It was
because taking Izaraku was a huge surprise to me. Booker was, I think they did pretty well in the first 2 picks.
The draft was an essay, and then Pickens was the exclamation point.
And then, but Pickens,
It
but
was-
that's what sealed it for
it
me.
was Pickens.
Is that he came in there and said, "This ain't cutting it," and they went and got it for him immediately. I'll ask all y'all.
Thank you, Aaron
Who had
Rodgers.
George Pickens? Who had George Pickens on their radar? Who thought that he was gonna come to Dallas? I'll wait.
Well,
I wanted
they,
it.
They tried to
I
fumble it,
just wanted it.
because they tried to go with Rashad
They
Bateman,
tried
which
to
is a
go
typical
Bateman.
Dallas Cowboys move. And thank God the
Right.
Ravens hung up
Thank
the
God
phone.
we
on
ain't
it.
get Bateman. I ain't want
Thank God, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Just like
So-
Robert Rochelle. Oh,
yeah.
Hey,
So they try to get the deck friendly wide receiver 2 separation guy, and they got the door shut on them. And then they said, "Well, hey," and like
Can
I
we-
said,
No, I get it. But
Yeah.
I think that there was always a plan to attack wide receiver 2, and to get for
to the
Shotty to
Panthers
be
hated
like,
on it.
"Hey."
The Panthers hated on it.
From my
Took that.
understanding, he spearheaded getting Pickens. And to
Mhm.
me,
I like that.
like the mixture of that, listening
We
to
got all
him
these
talk
leaders in
football-
here. Why you can't bring Pickens in here? We got enough leadership.
Right.
Bring some spice. bring
Right.
me.
No, I really think y'all for real. Like, and even so, the team just feels lighter. I don't even know how to
Mhm.
explain that. Like,
Well,
it's
why
that
you said it? I'm having fun again.
they
because D-Law put them boys in the cuffs.
they legitimately are. They do this thing before practice, and I think they put out a clip about it, where all the coaches line up on the outside of these little things where they got
Oh, when they was getting hyped?
ladders, and they got to run through them, and
Yeah.
everybody, all of them, they run through there. The coaches be hyping them up and all this stuff. Dog, I'm telling you, I know people don't like.
Is it genuine or is
hear-
it being forced?
No, it's genuine.
That's
That's
all I
what I'm
need to know.
saying.
Good
And
thing.
I'll say that I don't know. I'm not gonna act like I know these guys, like I know them, but I do think I know some of them well enough to see the difference in them and what they feel
Mhm.
like. And we can sit up here. It don't make no sense to me for all of us. Like, we matter, but we don't really effing matter, dog. The
That's
people in
fact.
that locker room that have to line up every time they get out there, that's who matter. And if
You right.
they are all saying it feels different, I'm excited, all these things, like, I just think we should believe them. I don't understand what.
It's Cowboys Nation is just pessimistic for the sake of being pessimistic.
Well, I'll speak on it because I feel like the problem is that everything was getting lumped in at culture change, right? It's like, oh, Brian Schottenheimer's drinking at the golf thing. That's a culture. Like,
I like that.
no. Because honestly, I personally don't think there was a big locker room issue, and that was the reason for our bad season last year. I feel like we
Can
had
I
a lot of
say? Can I
injuries.
say you're wrong?
Okay. In what capacity?
I'm gonna say that there was a lot going on.
But don't you feel like the team they rallied for Mike McCarthy? A lot of the players said they liked Mike
think-
McCarthy.
I think. Yeah, I think
was
that
that-
there. I think there was a divide, and I think there also
Well,
was.
yeah.
Okay, I'll say it like this. Maybe it wasn't necessarily the players, but I do think that there was contention between the staff, and
Oh,
when
yeah,
you got a
absolutely.
guy you ride for,
That's a
when
big deal.
your position coach, you ride for your position coach. You ride for
Right.
your defensive coordinator. You ride for those.
Right.
When you have that and the miscommunications and all that stuff, I think that does trickle down to.
There was some players.
Absolutely.
deep,
I agree.
But in all honesty,
where did that come from though? It came
And
from
obviously
upstairs.
injuries too, like
Right.
O said.
I think it came from upstairs personally, and
Right,
I'll
it came
say
from upstairs.
because everybody look, Al Harris. I think did Al Harris have a 1 year? I don't know how many coaches had 1 year deal.
Everybody,
A
the
lot
whole
of
team was
players
on
had
1 year
1 year
deals.
deals.
Everybody's on a
Like-
1 year deal, bro. Unfortunately,
Even the brand new staff they brought in was on 1 year prove it deals.
Everybody was on almost a 1 year.
so it
Yeah.
never felt
So when
like
things was going wrong, it's like, of course, everybody gonna be pitted against each other. It can either
Absolutely.
like
yeah.
work
Everybody
Right.
looking over.
ugly,
That's
but,
why
like
if you got a confidence issue, and I'm worried about my job, I don't got time to baby you. So it was
That
a
part.
different type of year.
Right.
Like
everybody was on
Lar-
edge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
no,
so I agree. Right.
Yeah,
So-
no. Yeah, and I agree. Like, it was a lot of different factors that played into last season and stuff. But that's what I picked up, is that there was
Mhm.
some poor communication between some of the coaches and things sometimes, and that there were that to me trickle down to the players because
Players.
they have loyalties to different people and different coaches and stuff
I
like
can
that.
see that
And
a whole lot of loyalty.
Sound like
the
Al
movie,
Harris.
and it kind of combusted in that. And then obviously too, even on the defensive side, Zimmer's system literally totally different than a DQ system. So anyway, I'm gonna say this. This is the last thing I'm gonna say about the culture thing. The reason why I said what the F do we want is because I just don't think it's gonna happen overnight for this team. I think that the way that this team has, even in the sense of like how they have to go about their everyday lives playing for the Cowboys, it is so unique and it's different than any other team you play for. And I just feel like Schotty is. I've been waiting for a coach to come in here and take that and make it a motivating factor and not something to stray away from. Because we see so many of the guys when they do these interviews, they be like, oh, we hear the noise and everything, but it's the Cowboys. Nah, dog, like let's take on the energy like
embrace
it's
it.
the Cowboys.
Right.
Like
Chuck been saying that's not meta.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
bro.
I do like that. Thank
there's-
you for saying that.
Yeah, there's so
I do
much,
like that.
there's so much. I think, and it makes me mad when the players are asked like, is it different being here? And do you feel the pressure? And they be like, no. Maybe some of these young guys that don't know no better, but there's no way. The expectations are totally
Nah,
different.
they be lying because when they go to other teams, they make
Right.
sure they
The
bring
very
up.
first thing they say, oh man, you ain't got to deal with the
So
pressure.
different,
Like, yeah, bro. Like, so we get it.
I
It was
want
lip
them-
service.
I want them
I
to
do-
embrace it. But I think Schotty just love football like them, dog. And you can tell, like Nicole said this to me when we was out at practice. Shout out to Nicole Hutchison. We were sitting on the side and we were watching Schotty. Schotty can go to every position group, every coach, and he dapping up people, and they are happy to be there. Like they're not. It's not fake. It's not fake.
No, that's real.
Mike used to be with the quarterbacks.
Yeah,
Mike
quarterback on. You know what I'm
used to be in the quarterback.
That's what I'm saying.
What's
And
your name
it's
again,
not
bro?
fake.
Come on, Hall, bro. Where
Please.
you
Yeah,
get?
Mike ain't know his whole team. That's a fact.
Yeah,
Mike
I'm about to say
used to be in
Shotty
interviews.
got nicknames for everybody. I kind
Right.
of peeped that, you know what I'm saying? And that's important.
Yeah, there's a real, and he also too, and this is something that I think is important, especially when we start talking about NIL and the way that football is starting to become. You got to figure out another way to incentivize players in this NFL.
Yeah.
You can't rely on them, and I don't care who feels away. You can't rely on them being poor and not
They
having
already
resources
paid.
anymore.
Right.
You have kids coming in here with financial literacy, with sponsorships, all these things. And even so, you have players like Micah who now have other streams of income, endorsements, all these things outside of the NFL and things that they do. You got to incentivize them to want to be here. And you can't do that with selling them a dream. You have to meet them where they are as people and figure out who they are as people to drive them to play the game. And that's literally what Schotty said. So for me, that's the difference. And when people talk about the culture, I think that Schotty's approach is what more coaches are going to start taking on. And I do think that some of the more successful teams have that too, because we be looking across the pond at homie over there for Philly, but some working.
Right.
But you know
Right.
what? Something that was
What
important.
we're building.
I was going
What
to say
you got,
something that
what
was
you got, John?
I was going to say something that was important in what you said is I had to think about it. Schotty has been taking the pressure off of the players now. And I haven't felt that in quite some time because, I mean, like, yeah, Cam came out the other day and had to think about, you know, Dak, your job's on the line and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And some of it I agree with, not this year, but like, I do think this is his last contract, but that's beside the point. Every time this year, it's about what quarterbacks is better than Dak. It's just really the year and blah, blah, blah. But everything has been Schotty this, Schotty that, Schotty this. And so I really appreciate the fact that not only is he knowing everybody, but he's burdening the task of the pressure. And you know what I'm saying? So I can appreciate that. And that's what Nick Sirianni does for Philadelphia, if you think about it.
To your point,
And I
DMV.
think one of the
go
key
ahead.
things,
Go
right,
ahead,
is like you think about when Micah did the TikTok with Schotty. The fact that Micah was comfortable enough with Schotty to even call him for a prank call, that sense, because Mike McCarthy probably hung up on it. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, you're playing on my phone.
Get on my phone, bro.
Mike wouldn't have answered the phone.
Yeah,
He
Mike
wouldn't
would be
answer
like,
it.
dog, you straight? You know what I'm saying? You good, bro? Let's see, call it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't
So
know.
I just think that connection and continuity it's going to translate. Now, will it translate on the field? We'll have to sit back and wait and see. But I do think that you'll see a more of a brotherhood where you don't have these boundaries where it's defense is their own independent team, special teams their own independent team. Then you have your offense over here kind of doing their own different thing. You'll see everybody mixed in and commingled together to try to make something happen on the field.
I mean,
and that's something. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that to DMV's point, you know, the media can't wait to find something that, especially in this time of year, to jump on us about.
Mm-hmm.
And when we first brought in Schottenheimer, they was like the Cowboys went super bottom of the barrel. That was a good running joke. But I know Shotty doing something right when I hear known haters like, let's just say like Colin Cowherd, etc. And when they bring up Schottenheimer, they're like, you know, the coach down there, I've really been hearing some good things. It's like you know they would find something if they could, like what they did with Sirianni when he had that horrible press conference.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever Shotty speak, it's hard for you to be like, you're like, all right, man, you got it. I can't find nothing to nitpick. So he doing something right, DMV, like you said. He taking the onus off the players and putting it back on the football.
Yeah, he said I love that about him in his presser. He was like, "Oh, if we don't seem prepared for games, that's on me.
Right.
That's on us."
Right.
And I'm just and here's another thing too. When you talk about some of the C word, I'm gonna say C word since y'all get some.
Say culture.
Okay. You know what I'm saying? We ain't playing the drinking game tonight, but no, you gonna say you got
no. I'm gonna say
game is hilarious.
I'm gonna say the C word, but also too, when you look at little things like Pickens,
the music. Are we getting rid of Thunderstruck? We getting rid of
Thunderstruck.
Can we play some Future? Like, can we?
Hey, there's plenty of that being played at practice. I don't know.
If Shotty gets rid of Thunderstruck, I'm all in. I'm sold.
You bought into it?
I bought it. Let them come out. You know what I'm saying? Let them come out with something new.
You're sick. Professor, I want to touch on that too. But I will say another thing too, like when I think about a Pickens and a CD, you know how, they keep saying like we just 1A, 1B, like it's not. I said this on Sky Show, is like, I think that's honest. And I want them to build a friendship. Because
I really do like
one
that.
of them is not getting the ball as much. It's a lot easier to be cool with it when it's your friend, but not your teammate. Because your teammate, you really competing against. Like, and I'm sure they still gonna compete. But if they have an actual friendship, there's a camaraderie and understanding between them that I think matters when you're talking about this game. And I feel like when you talk about Shotty and talking to the players and stuff like that, dog, he taking them to dinner, he going out and meeting their kids and different stuff. Like, he goes the extra mile. And I'm telling you, players want that because they play in a sport where people do not always view them as human beings.
Yeah.
And he talks to them and handles them like they are grown-ass men, but they're also young men learning to be men. And I appreciate that. So that's what I've taken from him so far. He understands what football calls for. He's been calling for it since last year, before he was even a coach. He was even a OC, whatever. But I also think that you can see it in the players, man. I'm trying to tell y'all.
I think he get that from his dad, though. People keep forgetting he a coach's son. He grew up in this, so he didn't got some tips.
And not to discredit Shotty, but I've said this publicly because I talked to him behind the scenes and he told me it's cool to say it publicly. This was something that Micah was wanting personally as well. Like, he was wanting more of a brotherhood type, family oriented environment as well.
Like
so
a college atmosphere.
You know what I'm saying? So it seems like everyone has their input, and you don't have the OG veteran guys anymore up here. Then you have a bunch of the young guys over here. You see the offensive linemen at the Stars game together. You saw Osa and Tyler Smith and Micah and CD doing the schedule release. So you've seen everybody kind of mixed in, blended with everybody. And I think it does create a good culture. Like I said, will it translate as X's and O's? No, but sometimes when you go into these dog fights, especially in the middle of the season, just having your brothers back means a lot, and you can get some victories just off of that alone. So
yeah, well, that's what I'm hoping for, dog. But I as from being in the building, going into my 4th year, thank you, Jesus, appreciate you.
There you go, superstar.
Going into my 4th year, it does feel. I feel like every year I can see them in like OTAs and training camp, and I'd be like, oh, okay, they're gonna win some games. But this year, it's not about, like, it is about the winning games, but it is like I'm telling you, all of us, all of the media that's in the like stands, like I don't know if they can feel it, but I can feel it. I can feel it when I'm close to the field. You guys know about football. Like I can feel the energy from the players. And I'm just like, dog, like if you aren't picking up on like that there's a different feeling within the players, then you must not, you're not linked, you're not really tied into me, because that's how I felt.
That's a great question, Ashley. Y'all wanna tackle that one? That's a great question.
Go ahead. We can do one more. We didn't expect to keep to this long, you know what I'm saying? But she's here, so we gonna rock out.
We on the show. We just
I got time. I ain't doing nothing.
You know, we get all right, bet. All right. So Ashley says, what are each of y'all's expectations for Shotty because he's in his first year? Is there a general consensus that no matter how this year goes, it's not a failure?
Let me go ahead and say this real quick.
Go ahead,
Ain't nobody saying Super Bowl, because I know what y'all want me to say. Not Ashley. But I know people be wanting they want us to get up here at goofy and say Super Bowl or bust. It's not that. It's nuanced to me. I want to see a team that looks prepared in big moments. That's it. I expect to make the playoffs. I do. 10 wins, 11 wins, 12 wins. I'm expecting at least 10 wins, 11 on a great year. But as far as just like when we get to these playoff games, we have just not looked prepared.
I agree.
I see them stop putting Super Bowl in the chat. Yo, stop. Or I can kick y'all out. But seriously, I just want to look prepared. We just look so shell-shocked in big moments, and then we like kind of wake up at halftime like, oh, we in the playoff game. Like, I just want them to be ready for these big moments, and we got plenty of them this year. First game, we gonna know if we're gonna be prepared or not. So we about to learn real quick.
What you got, John? I mean, DMV.
Look, hey, look, so it's really not that bad. Like when I first started, I was John G, and then and then it switched to DMV. So it's all good. People know my name.
They call me Rome all the time. CFTV out the window.
Yeah, it is. There's a million Johns out there anyway. So
yeah, I'm just.
It's not a battle rap. Like, oh, your name is John. Like
Ashley, like who the?
My bad, John, my dog. So I'll be forgetting.
Yeah. Ashley calling you John on Twitter now. So
everybody gonna start calling me John.
These are discussions we be having on the phone. You know what I'm saying? So we just his secret identity is out, man.
It is what it is, bro. It is what it is.
Come on, John. Tell us what you got, bro.
All right. So I think that it's gonna be a building block season. So I'm not gonna stray away from what Rome was saying. I actually agree with all of that stuff. I think about 11 wins, a win in the wild card or something like that, and we'll have a direction for next year, something to build on. So I think a failure. Honestly, I don't think anything he could do this year would be a failure. Like even if we're a bad team, I don't think it's a failure because he is a first-time head coach. But we just got to build on what we've got, and I like the direction that we're going. And I mean, as selfishly as I want us to just dive in and try and get over the top, it is a process. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I do think it's interesting that you use the term building block system. Well, season. I think it's gonna be either that or they're gonna ball out. I think it's gonna either be how John was just saying, where this is a year where you got this new staff in here. You're trying to, obviously last year was such a mixed sham, but I don't know. But can we afford a building block season with the quarterback being?
Hey, don't get me. Hey, I got Kool-Aid right here.
I don't know if you can afford a building block season, especially with how many free agents you got too coming up. I think you gotta. This feels like. I agree with you on the building block thing. I would be cool with a couple wins, not a couple, but you know what I mean. Enough wins, and then you guys, and then going into the playoffs and maybe doing a little something, and then next year it being like, okay, we're together, we understand what this is, we can add to it, all that stuff, and then it turns into like, let's go win a ship. But you don't got time for that. I don't think you have time for that.
It's like a 3-year window.
3, 4. You know what's crazy though? If they do it right, I just saw Dan Quinn flip the entire emotional mood of a bad team.
Right.
So if you do it right, it can work.
It can work. It can. No, I agree. I think it can work, but there has to be your plan has to be concise. And the one thing I will say about Shotty, and again, everybody got plans so they get hit in the mouth, but
that's a fact.
Shotty has been planning this. You can tell that he is a person when you hear him talk. He's been wanting for this moment for a while. You know what I'm saying? And I do think he is going to try his best to push them further. And also too within the division, I think one of these teams might not be as good as last year.
Oh, talk to him. Don't see. Nope. I'm a.
It might be.
I already know what it's gonna be.
It might be Washington, bro.
Ain't no Mike.
I think
Washington. I don't think they get enough.
They was in a life struggle with Cooper Rush. You ain't about to get me rolling here.
No, yeah. I mean, I think Jaydon Daniels is gonna get better, but I do think the division there.
I can't take that from that young man. He can play.
Oh no,
there was a lot of one possession game, like a Hail Mary that changed the tide of the year. Because if that Hail Mary don't happen, then you know what I'm saying, like a lot of things align for them. So
yeah. So
whatever happens, this division ain't gonna be no joke. We can talk trash. It's gonna be a dog fight.
It's one of the best. Yeah, it's one of the best for sure. But I don't know, man. I think I liked what John said about it being kind of like a tick mark type year, but I'm looking at this quarterback and I want him to go get it now.
I'm ready to go. See,
tell your front office that then.
Yeah, I just don't think we have enough, y'all. I think that's my biggest concern.
So where do we not have enough at? You talking about like the running back?
I just think when I look at this schedule, I don't like our corners. Personally, I don't like our linebackers. I don't like our defensive tackles, interior, right? And I don't like our running back core to go against. And see, that's what I need to see from Brian Schottenheimer. I need to see improvement, right? I need to see, are we able to finally punch in our own weight class? Can we go?
How many games?
Wins?
How many games till you're like, okay?
So I'm about to hit you in like 4 games.
Originally, I said week 6, but I was probably thinking that slate where it's Philly, Kansas City, Detroit, Minnesota, that stretch. That's where I'll know what we really are, because I don't want to walk out of this feeling like it's the same old Cowboys. If we're having it, well, I ain't gonna be having these conversations next year, but if you're having the same conversation saying that Cowboys can't stop the run, or we can't run the ball, or we don't show up in big moments, I just feel like it's going to be a failure to me, because I wanted to improve from what Mike McCarthy's already built, not reel back. So I just think for me, those are the things I want to see. And of course, you might not win those entire games, right? But let's say we go to that slate and we go out there 0-4. No, there's no excuse. And I feel like giving Brian Schottenheimer the olive branch and say, oh, he's a first-time head coach is not going to fly for me, because one, you already had a proven coach. All you had to do was sign the proven coach. You wanted to do that in the first place. You let your ego get in the way. So you better be damn sure that you got someone that was an improvement that's going to be able to build on top of what Mike McCarthy already built.
What do we talk about when we talk about ego? What are we talking about?
Well, they were going to sign Mike McCarthy. The difference between the contract was the reason why they didn't get the deal done.
I'm happy they didn't get the deal done. I was done with Mike.
I'm not. All right.
I mean, you can text us or call us. You know what I'm saying?
We don't have a
but I heard some other things behind the scenes, right? But they wanted to sign Mike McCarthy back, though, sis.
They just didn't want it to be a long-term deal. He wanted a long-term, right?
He wanted
another 1-year deal or something like that.
Right. I mean, but Mike McCarthy told him out the gate, this is why I got me a new agent, bro. I'm not playing with you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it was just one of those things where ego got in the way.
I know Mike's still at home.
You know, yeah. So it's just me personally.
He got his chain on, he dancing around like
Mike cool. Mike about to start a podcast. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, yeah, I felt like, all right, if Brian Schottenheimer is your guy, he's brought in a better coaching staff. I think that's improved. We changed the culture, as you will. We need to see some improvement. We can't walk out of this season saying it's the same old Cowboys and it's be like, well, he's a first-year head coach. Give it some time. Because like you're saying, our quarterback, we probably got 3 years with Dak Prescott.
2.
Before it's time to move on.
Yeah. So I mean, I agree. I'm ready. I think I will say I'm fine with them taking a chance on somebody that we don't know, but the players know. And like I said, even when I was
actually funny.
Even when I was at the Senior Bowl, when I was at the Senior Bowl.
But my frustration with the hire Brian Schottenheimer, to be honest with you, is that even if you were on a fence for Mike McCarthy, you should have been interviewing other coaches. And I felt like they waited, they played those games, they blocked Mike McCarthy from interviewing with Chicago, they sat on their hands, and then Mike McCarthy dipped, and then they were scrambling last minute, right?
No.
So,
well, I thought that I thought that Schottenheimer was an option from the start.
I don't think.
I think they didn't. I think that they, you get somebody interview. We're gonna interview Shotty. I think Shotty just went there and blew him out the water. Like, hold on,
He probably did. It's kind of like.
No,
But
I watched the last
I
dance.
think Shotty got the job because Mike dipped and Kellen dipped.
No, I don't. I think that.
No, I think he
this
beat
also
out
has-
Kellen.
I think
Nah,
this
he
has
didn't
to
beat
do
out
with.
Kellen, bro. He ain't beat out Kellen, bro. There's no way you can tell me Kellen Moore, who just came off a Super Bowl interview with the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones's chosen son, and he just said, "Nah, you're just not it."
I think them players said no to Kellen. Them players could have said no.
Well, we
don't know if
did.
the
We the
players
fan base. I think they checked their fan base. You know what I'm saying?
No, we ain't want
have
Kellen at all.
hashtags, but I think there was a conversation.
I think it has I think it also has to do with what I think Shotty becoming the head coach is also a player led thing. I'm trying to tell y'all, like,
They
Shotty
really
has
do like
been.
him.
But they
Shotty has
wanted
been.
Mike back too, though, didn't they?
Huh?
I mean, they were advocating for Mike. Well, some of them were advocating for Mike back.
I don't
too.
think that. I think it's kind of split.
Dak did. Dak openly
Dak,
wanted.
I mean, I
wanted
feel
him
like
back.
that's
Dak like
I mean,
everybody, bro. You got to watch Dak. Dak a different person.
Oh yeah.
yeah, right.
I think Brian Schottenheimer was in the defensive room, special teams room. Probably the only coach that's been around here that knows almost every player's name and stuff. We talked about this. I'm trying to tell y'all, like, this is every player I talked to about Schottenheimer last year when I had the opportunity to be in the locker room. They light up. And I think that had a lot to do with it, bro. I understand what y'all are saying, and I'm not saying that I liked how they waited and sat on things and stuff like that either. But I personally think that Schottenheimer was, and maybe I need to go ask around. I feel like he was somebody that they were considering for a while.
I don't know, sis.
Every move ain't got.
I don't want to be the Kool-Aid.
Right. But I felt like Schottenheimer is going to be the Dallas Cowboys' Dak Prescott, where they accidentally fell into some shit that's going to work out.
That's great to me, though.
Right.
Accidentally falling into stuff.
You don't think so? You don't think so, Tuck? I mean, I'm
Nah, because I felt like I know for sure there was a lot of Cowboys players that were pulling for Mike Zimmer. Mike Zimmer got disrespected, and he said, "Nah, I'm gonna be with my new young wife, so y'all can have this." Mike McCarthy did. They interview Robert Saleh, right?
Yeah, they interviewed Robert Saleh.
And then was
Kellen? They got Kellen too. Kellen.
Yeah, but that was after.
Kellen.
That was after the fact, right? So it's just like I feel like all the options. I know they were talking about like Ron Rivera and Rex Ryan. So I feel like the market's really bare.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank God. That's what I'm saying. So I feel like Brian.
I'm cool with Shotty out of the people they picked.
Right. I'm cool.
I know you want to.
What was left, right? Versus Robert Saleh. I would have whatever Robert Saleh over Mike or Shotty, but out of what was left, he was the best out of what was left. And I think that's the problem. Is I'm saying he was the what was left. But once he got hired, I think he's done a phenomenal job putting the staff together.
We didn't hit up Ben.
Shotty is that the ego of the Cowboys front office. They're not going to let Shotty fail. They're going to give. If Mike McCarthy was hired back, he's not getting George Pickens.
But they ain't like Mike McCarthy like that. I feel like it was a necessary evil. I don't think Jerry and them really rock with him.
It was a tug. They tolerated Mike McCarthy because they had no other options, right? Like if Sean Payton was really available, they would have went with Sean. But there was no.
They like Mike when they had that sleepover 4 years ago, but that went off real quick.
Goodbye, Rome. But I don't know.
They like that, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm with the Shotty thing. I don't know, y'all. I
like Shotty a lot.
It's not about I'm saying, like, I feel like he just been waiting for his moment.
I think he won.
Of course.
I got a question, Iisha.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think when they called Pete Carroll, they called him for reference of Brian, opposed to him coaching the team?
I heard that.
Say it again.
So you remember when they called Pete Carroll? Do you remember they called him about being like, quote unquote, it was like him being the head coach? Do you think that call might have really been about Shotty and what he could bring to this organization?
Possibly. Possibly, we heard Shotty talk about Pete Carroll, and wanting to kind of follow in his footsteps, having that energy, even though he's young and still and really being, because he said that in his presser. He was like, "It start with us as the coaches. Like if we come out there stale, the players gonna come out there stale." And I think he meant that. Well, I know he meant that because of how he behaves, but I don't know. Y'all can't explain it. I'm telling you. I also think that they brought Shotty back because this team has gone through. We've had the last 3 years a new last
Some
2 years, 3
continuity.
years,
We need to keep
new
some continuity.
DC, new OC, new this, new that, and I think that was another part of it is keeping him here because the players know him.
But you could have kept both sides. You could have kept continuity with both sides. You could have had continuity with Mike Zimmer and the defensive staff and just made Shotty the offensive coordinator. But be that as it may, right?
But like, what do you know that I don't know? Because it sounds like I was about to say it sounds like
y'all both know stuff. Like y'all both know stuff, and like I've been privy to both conversations.
We might have talked.
That's why I'm being quiet. I'm like,
I want to know what happens at the convo. Let me know later, but I don't know nothing.
I'm like, Tuck, what is you talking about?
But I do have something for the Kool-Aid people because we do. We got something for everybody here. This is similar to a dynasty team, if you think about it.
All right, now it ain't that much.
Yeah. I got something for the Kool-Aid people.
I'm gonna put you on solo layout, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right.
I had to kill that mosquito. I finally got it, y'all. It was trying to kill me.
Kool-Aid people.
Don't say Super Bowl. Don't be
Kool-Aid people. Kool-Aid people. This reminds me of a dynasty with how things happen, right? With Doug Collins and the Bulls. Doug Collins was the proven coach. He was the guy that knew this, knew that. Michael Jordan backed him and did all that type of stuff. But Phil Jackson was the guy who on the side was drawing up stuff.
Oh, hell no, John.
He had all of the players, like they somehow they bought into it. And then when he became the coach, he handed them all books and Zen and all this type of stuff. I'm just saying, for my Kool-Aid people, this might be Phil Jackson. Watch Mark Holmes do a video.
But that's no, y'all. But that's what I meant when I said, "What the f do you want?" Because how many times every year we talk about the Cowboys is too button up, it's real politic-y, whatever you want to say. They don't have the energy that we want to have, and then we have a coach that embodies that brings in other coaches that embody that. And we over here being mixed sad.
The skepticism.
I'm not saying that the skepticism isn't warranted. We got to see it on the field. Don't play with me. I got to see the tape.
We just try to get whooped.
But I'm telling you, I think, I'm still, some of these players I haven't even met yet. But I'm telling you from being present with these people that this is a totally different energy than I have seen since I have been here. And I hope that y'all at least trust that part. Like, even if it doesn't, we wanted to translate on the field, but there is a different feel from the players and them feeling heard and understood. And I think that is that's what makes players want to play for you, is that you listen to them and you care. Like, so I'm like, you know what, bro? Let's get it.
And I'll say this to kind of go off what DMV said. I wouldn't say Phil Jackson, but what Brian Schottenheimer feels for me, and I made a video on this, it feels Coach Primish without the spotlight, right? When you have a guy that everyone is going to relate to, just have energy, have a different type of swagger, different type of connection that you want to lay it on the line for, I think it's going to feel more like that versus Phil Jackson, dog. You know what I'm saying? Hey, disrespect Phil like that. But I just feel like you're going to kind of get that young, spirited, vibe-ish when you might mess around and see rappers and stuff in the locker room. You know what I'm saying? Or like when Tyler Booker said when he met Schottenheimer, the music that he was playing. So it's a different type of bounce with a different type of swagger. And I feel like that's what Shotty is going to bring to Dallas.
I just like the genuineness he bring. When Micah called him, that call, I know it was funny, but you could tell when someone's being genuine. And when he called and he was like, "What's up, Micah?" And Micah was trying to do a prank. He went straight into like being chill, yo, man.
It wasn't. That's a good carrying conversation, right there.
It's straight up. And my favorite part is him saying out loud, "I know it's kind of weird, bro.
Right.
I know this is weird.
We're gonna get it right
because we acknowledge that it's weird, bro. Keep it 100. This is weird. It's not weird for the Cowboys, obviously, because it's how they do things. But for a player of Micah's caliber, this is weird. And I don't think it should take this long. Don't get me started.
Yeah, that's a whole different.
So that's a whole.
That's cool. We just gonna bring you on again. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, come forward. You know what I'm saying? Come forward.
No, thank you for letting me come on with y'all, because I was just like, I seen y'all live and I was like, I just got with the Texans. My little setup is up. I got a little microphone and everything.
Yeah.
Thank you, shout out to you, Sky. I was like, let me just get on here and talk with y'all, because I ain't heard y'all's thoughts. I haven't gotten to do any work with you guys, so no, this has been fun. If y'all still going, y'all can go. I ain't got nothing to do, but I know y'all got kids and stuff. I ain't got no kids.
The children's is around. Don't.
I look. Somebody upstairs probably watching.
I want to ask this question: how is the safety room looking? Seems kind of quiet in that deep secondary. Thanks. So what's your thoughts on the safety? Because I feel like if there's a position where there is progress stoppers, this is that position. I'm not gonna put you on the spot for saying that.
Go on, start one.
I'm gonna say this, and I don't really know what it means, and I'm not saying it means anything because I know Malik Hooker and then be watching. I ain't trying to get cussed out, but I will say that Wanye Thomas, when they do split safety, it's Wanye and Malik. Donovan Wilson started off OTAs in minicamp on the cords, working off to the side. Sound like he had something that he had to get cleaned up or something in the off season, and they're working him back. He looks healthy. Don't get it twisted. When I'm seeing him working with Britt, he cutting, he running full speed. He looks explosive. He looks himself. But I think the ranginess of Wanye is something that they want to use, and something that I think Donovan lacks in that department. Obviously he's a guy that you want closer to the box and doing things in that way. But Wanye Thomas was, when they did split safety, it was Wanye. And I don't know if that was because they're trying to temper Donovan or whatever, but it's Wanye.
That's probably why Wanye went and signed with Athletes First.
Go ahead, dog. Earn that number 2, my guy. Go earn that number 2.
But I agree. I think he's the rangiest safety that we. Now, there's another kid we'll talk about out of Syracuse, and Elijah Clark, who I really like.
He was running with the twos. Again. Oh my God! I feel like I have to preface everything, like, because it's the OTAs. And
well, you unfortunately, but you do have tentacles. People will be like, "Hey man, why you say that?" So I understand.
Right.
No. So I have to say that, but yeah, he was getting opportunity. He was getting opportunity at the safety position when they would do the twos as well. So that was something I noticed. The kiddo out of Syracuse, maybe there's some real interest there. I hate to say this, and I don't know what's going to happen with Marquise Bell. I don't even know what's going to happen because if Donovan's healthy, but they got Wanye out there, where does Bell fit? And also too, I don't want Bell to become this, but he might be really important for special teams.
I say career special teamer in
because
Dallas.
I think we've lost guys on special teams. It's kind of that one.
That man went out there and played linebacker for a whole year.
Yeah, this is basically. I mean, he got a new deal, but it's just.
And it was out of necessity. It was out of necessity, but I'm really curious to see where Marquise Bell fits and what they do with him, because I think CJ Goodwin is gonna chalk it up pretty soon. He's had a great career, but you've lost guys on special teams, and don't get it twisted. We don't talk about it a lot, but that's an important aspect of this game now.
Very important.
And I wonder if he's gonna end up being one of those guys that really becomes a dog on special teams, because it's so hard to get him on the field with all of the guys at safety.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think it's kind of hard unless you're going to have a big nickel spot for him, But even with that,
and who would you prefer running that right now? Are you looking for who would you prefer?
For me, I would put Izzy at it, to be honest with you.
Right.
If he's
So-
starting corner though,
Yeah, but if he's starting corner, that might be the saving grace.
Well,
So
then
if
they
you
had
have,
Wanye playing in the nickel, but we need him at safety. So.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so they're doing a lot of rotating and stuff. Like we ain't gonna see for sure until
Mhm.
camp, but the
I
safety
can't look.
position is
This is
interesting.
the most exciting camp in years for me. It's so much unknown. I'm really hyped to see how some of this stuff starts shaking out.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The Donovan thing was surprising to me because I'm watching him and I'm watching him work out with Brit and stuff, and when I say really, really going at it on them bands and sprinting and stuff, I'm like, oh, he can cut. And then they let him do in minicamp. He actually started doing like the drills and things like that. But when they went to team period, a lot of the time, it was Wanye and Hooker.
When they do that, usually sometimes I be thinking trade, but I don't know if they'll trade Dono.
I mean, he could have been a post June, right? We would say what 2 or 3 million.
Do you think that Dono has trade value?
I think he did. I think he did.
It depends. Would Washington want him?
Just tell Dan Quinn to come get his homeboys back. So like Marquise
Tell
Bell.
Dan Quinn send me a defensive tackle and we can talk.
Right.
What DTs they got over there?
I'm screaming right now. But no, I mean, I guess the more the better. Obviously, injuries happen.
Right.
Eagles is going to be asking these safeties to come from depth and tackle, and it's going to probably be some booming going on. So guys get dinged up. So I always feel like the safety depth is good, and I'm happy that we have it. But Wanye Thomas is, I think, going to be on the field. I think we're going to see him on the field more this year.
I'm excited about that. I've been waiting.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming. It should have happened last year.
I mean, but it's interesting with Wanye though, because here's the thing about Wanye. I think he's really good. I think he is still learning his keys and things like that. You know what I'm saying? And I think this will give him the opportunity to actually do it. But I think that was why he was not on the field as much as we wanted him to be. I think it was the processing and understanding. Zimmer's defense is complicated. So yeah, I think that's why. But anyway, yeah, it's gonna be simpler for them. So maybe. But yeah, that safety position is kind of weird, guys. I don't know. I have no idea what's going on. I know Malik Hooker gonna play. That's all I got.
But to sit back and
I know that front seven gonna be lit.
That's gonna help everybody. That's gonna help everybody.
I'm trying to tell you, Dante Fowler coming off the edge. I mean, he was already good. Like we seen him play. But I think that
that's not forgotten about pickup too. People forgot.
No, I think going to Washington really helped him figure out like what type of pass rusher he want to be. And I can't wait to touch base with him when I can. But Donovan Izaraku is gonna be an issue. If you got a tall tackle, cooked, big cooked. I'm telling you, tough.
Against Philly.
I know.
Against Philly, I know where we're gonna attack, and I know where Mike is gonna attack. And you know what I'm saying? Them A and B gaps,
bro.
Philadelphia better get ready,
bro. And with Osa,
that been gone, so I already know where we attacking. Tyler Steen better get ready.
We gonna have our edges, and Micah, they're gonna move him around. It's gonna be some stunts. It's gonna be a whole
dog. I think the pass rush could be really good. They're using Marist as a blitzer. I think the pass rush could be really good, guys.
Forget about my dog Maris, man.
We got to get to those pass rush situations.
Oh, you got to stop the run.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's the hard part. But it's interesting you say that because maybe we're talking a little too much, but Eberflus don't really blitz a lot. So I think he's gonna have to because of the personnel that he has with his defense. You can't have Maris just dropping back, and even like I like Shamar James sits out of Florida. Like he's a guy that can come downhill and blitz. High motor guy. So
hey. I don't know what's going on with him, but he hasn't practiced. He don't. He be with the trainers.
James.
I don't know if he dinged himself up. I'm not sure if even anyone's reported that. I hope that I'm not doing anything wrong, but I haven't seen him out there. Because I be looking for that 50. Because I brought him up on the draft show prior to the combine. Is that I wanted to see what his 40 was, Tuck. Because when you watch him, when he come from depth, he's coming, Right. But I was trying to see what his 40 was going to be, and it wasn't as fast as what I thought it was going to be. But I was curious about him because I feel like his temperament is overshown-isk. You know what I'm saying?
Is he undersized?
Yeah, see, I even talked to Sis about any of that, and I said the same thing. Like it's very overshown right? It's just high motor, disruptive, all over the field, downhill, blitzing, maybe miss a few tackles, but he's just flowing to the ball.
And and he's not a thumper,
right?
But he'll tackle, like he's gonna wrap up and tackle. So I was curious about him. So it was cool when they drafted him. I was like, oh look, a nugget. But it's I don't know what's gonna happen with that now. What about Damone Clark?
GG's.
Y'all, please.
Boom, 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 boom. Like that's what balls would have hit.
I think it's time to let it go.
It's another TK.
I mean, he gonna have to find something on special teams.
Probably. They had Murray at the Will.
We got Big
Harris at the Sam. When they were in their three back set, it was Marist at the Sam. What's the gentleman's name from Chicago? Sanborn at the Mike, and Murray at the Will is what they were doing.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
They like Sanborn. I've been hearing the whole bunch.
He probably got all of them. If you think about it, all three of them can be interchangeable.
Yeah. Because I mean, Murray's built like a Mike too, and so. Yeah, so I think for Damone,
could have been how they were lined up to something too.
I don't see Damone fitting in there. I just think
I don't either.
Special teams
don't have some of these guys are not gonna have sponsors in the building no more. If they even had one in the first place. So
Damone better learn how to be a gunner.
I was about to say,
so Damone was the third round. Was he third or fourth round pick?
I think Damone was like a fifth, sixth.
I think he was a fifth.
Look, and we still got Darius Harris on the team too, which I'm gonna try and get an interview with him. I'm taking my son to the trainer tomorrow, actually. And Darius Harris is a really good special teamer. Was in Kansas City for a little bit.
Jeez, right.
But the time that we got him to play in preseason, he was out there cooking. So that might be like the competition right there. With Damone might be competing with him, and they might say, "Well, the special teams outweigh what you going to play with down because you can't get on the field."
Right.
Yeah, no, that's what I was looking at. That's what I was looking at. Yeah. And then the second team, I got my notes up. The second team offensive line was Awesome Richards, TJ Bass. Yes, left tackle, Awesome Richards, TJ Bass at left guard, Will Shepley at center, Brock Hoffman at right guard, and Nate Thomas at right tackle.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been hearing that.
That was
being tackled.
So none of our free agent guys that we brought in was even on the second layer offensive line.
No, not during that period of time.
Boy, what was Steven doing, bro?
They have a whole sense of urgency to bring in all these rotational offensive linemen. They ain't even cracked the second team in OTAs.
Hey, listen,
Robert Rochelle.
The Nate Thomas thing really stuck out to me because I think he obviously went under the radar last year, but I am happy if he is going to man that right tackle spot. First of all, I think it's time to let Matt Waletzko go.
Why is he here?
Because you don't have another backup right tackle. That's why.
Right,
that's literally why they could not let him go.
Kid out of Oregon, right?
Josh Ball.
Yeah, they drafted the gentleman out of Oregon, but he was running with the threes. They had Nate Thomas with the twos.
Gotcha.
They had Nate Thomas with the twos. And I think Nate Thomas last year did get injured. I do think that he also was like, how they just put people away. Just be like,
That's that magical injury. And
he kind of hurt a little bit,
So he had a foot thing going on, if I'm not mistaken, but his college tape was good.
Right.
His college tape was pretty good. So I think
that's gonna happen to Trayshawn.
So would you last question I got you for
we gotta go. We gotta get out of here.
Would you keep Tyler Guyton and Awesome Richards as the insurance policy at left tackle, or would you shift Tyler Smith back to left tackle if Tyler Guyton doesn't work out?
I'll keep him there.
Tyler Smith left tackle?
No. I would keep Awesome Richards as the.
So you think he's qualified enough to be left tackle if Tyler Guyton doesn't?
I think we need to see Awesome this camp to decide if that is a thing. I will say about Tyler Smith, and I've been feeling like this, and this is probably like wish I was a scout one day, Iisha. I do not like. I think we are getting into the versatility part of things.
Let them play their position.
Because I do think that this position, where your position is, has to do with your development. And I think it is incredibly, as much as he will do it because he's a team player, having him as the insurance policy on both sides. And again, if you in a pinch, you got to do it, whatever. But to have him flip-flopping like this, to me, I don't like it, number one. And number two, he is, again, we talked about it. He got a contract coming up.
Pro guard right there.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I want him to have the opportunity to focus on the same way we talk about Izzy Tuck. We want him to be able to focus on corner.
Right.
Like, this flip-flopping is fine, like, if you need to do it, but like, let's not stray away from player development, and let's not stray away from actually, keeping a guy where he needs to be. And I also don't want him to be dealing with any injuries, because he dealt with the hamstring the other year, and because they insist on flip-flopping him, and I don't like that.
First round left tackle it is. All right.
Yeah, all right, left tackle. All right.
So
I was sick.
Like I said, Tyler Guyton, he's the most important piece for me.
I agree.
All season, he has to take not a few steps forward, but he has to take a massive leap.
Guyton and Mozzie.
Man, we appreciate you for joining in improv. Didn't have this plan, but we didn't rock it for 2.5 hours.
I know.
It's just how we do, man. But for everyone seeing you for the first time, wherever the hell have y'all been, let everybody know where they can find you, sis.
Oh, me.
I'm talking to Robert DV. I'm talking to you.
Oh, my
nobody care about me.
My bad. Sorry, I think I did something. I hit my camera. My bad, y'all. I'm kind of blurry. But you can find me at Iisha Morrison on Twitter. It is with 2 I's, no L, no none of that. It's Iisha, Iisha. If you add me, you can talk to me. I talk back sometimes. And then you can also catch me with Skywalker Steel. I think pretty much every Wednesday we record. We normally drop, I don't know, that night. We have the Sky and 2 Eye show. We go in depth. It's really great. We just started maybe like 3 weeks ago, I want to say, and it's been awesome.
My dog Sky.
Working with Sky. That's my twin. So you can catch me there in the off season. If you're into any Houston Texans content, maybe you are, maybe you're not. We got a lot of different fans in here. I do Locked On Cowboys, Locked On Texans rather. Ooh, my mind. Locked On Texans twice a week with Locked On over there. And then Girls Talk, Boys Talk with the Cowboys will re-intervene in about a month and a half. So y'all just let me know. And yeah, thank you for having me on, guys. This was cool.
Salute to you, sis. Continue to be a star, man. And, we're proud of you every time we sit back and see you doing, even though you're trying to bail on Cowboys Nation. She trying to bail on y'all. I'm going to tell y'all, she trying to bail on y'all and go with Texas. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all are sick.
She going where Nick Chubb going.
Yeah, she like going with Nick Chubb. You know what I'm saying? They got
Nick Chubb to the Texans.
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all are wrong. God forbid a lady want to expand. I think I'm telling you, since I started doing it, when you drop some content on your channel, dog, what do y'all want me to say? It ain't nothing to talk about right now. I don't be talking. Listen, I don't just be talking. I'll talk when the season starts.
Hey, welcome to our life. You know what I'm saying? We got sometimes
we
gotta
find something to talk about.
No, this is my favorite time of year. Y'all, I like shutting up when it's time to shut up, and this is the only time we really get to do some shut up.
Ain't no off days in this content space. It's Ray, sweet as snow.
I'm retired. I'm retired.
While you left something off, she do cover for part-time every once in a while.
Yeah. She'll be a part, cover for, you know what I'm saying? She's gonna be a part of the show.
So let y'all know when she pop back up, don't be surprised, like, hey. I'll be there a lot. I know.
Yeah. New member cover for.
Now, if y'all want me to come back through in the off season, I'll come back through, dog. Like, this is fun for me, and I'm trying to get back. I did a lot last year and different stuff, but I'm trying to get back to being in the community again. So.
Yeah, it's good. You know what I'm saying? Kind of just get to be yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like hooping at the rec center.
Yeah, I said cuss words.
Cuss words, yeah.
They like that. You go back and look at the chat.
You might get an email. You get an email.
I said curse words, y'all. I can't believe. I was like, I gotta cuss, y'all. I gotta.
It feels good to get that out sometimes.
I thought about clipping that too.
No.
You know, put it on Twitter. You know,
every time the fans go off, I'm gonna play it. Like, what the fuck y'all want?
No, y'all don't do that.
That's kind of dope. What the fuck?
At least gonna be a button. They're gonna be a button at least. You know what I'm saying? But, hey, we appreciate everyone for tuning in across the platform. Like all the channels, you can find me, JTuck151, on all social media platforms. DMV, let everybody know they can find you, bro.
Y'all can find me at DMV Fanatic on all platforms. I'm just coming back from Vegas. You know what I'm saying? So I'm recharged.
Yeah, they be on vacation. I know she gonna be on vacation too. That's why she, you know what I'm saying? She got
the braids done. Yeah.
Bro.
That's the tail.
She ready to travel. You know what I'm saying? Got them travel braids ready to go.
I'm leaving.
I'm leaving. It's hilarious. I'm leaving.
I'm leaving. My kids and everything. Goodbye.
Peace out, man. Peace out. And then Ron, let everybody know they can find you, bro.
Hey man, y'all know y'all find me Cowboys Fan Talk, Cowboys_Fan Talk on Twitter, defending y'all against the Goofies daily. And y'all already know what it is, man. We gonna keep trying to pump out what we can. I appreciate y'all support, rocking with us. June 24th. It was how many people in here, Tuck? At one point,
1,400 right now.
Yeah, like so we gotta just say we appreciate y'all, man. Y'all could be doing anything else in June when it's the did period, but y'all in here rocking with us. So I want to say I appreciate y'all.
Right.
No,
appreciate each and every one of you.
Don't clip it.
No, we're not gonna clip it. We're not gonna clip it.
I'm just gonna clip it for my own personal self, and I'm just going.
I appreciate that.
No, that's why I don't be cussing, man. Because
everybody said you got to come back doing in the chat. I've been seeing that.
Come back through. Yeah. Unfortunately, I ain't gonna have. I gave you all the information I got.
Y'all see my sister's hair. She's going on vacation. I'm going on vacation. We ain't about to be doing no Cowboy stuff for a minute until we get to camp. Now, but we had sis definitely
gotta get you back. Camp? Tua?
Huh?
Are you going out to camp?
I will. I want to.
Where's Derek Eagleton? Derek Eagleton. Derek Eagleton, I know you're watching.
No, I want
your farewell tour. Are you going to camp?
I don't know, bro. I don't know, bro.
You.
I don't know. I might be at camp on accident. I was talking.
I'm tired of y'all. He ain't going to camp.
I want to go to there. I want to go to there, but I'm also like,
yeah, we'll see. You know, I might just happen to be in California around the same time as camp. So I mean,
where the Will McClay hat at? Get the Will McClay, Trill McClay hat back out.
Last time I put on the scouting hat, they ain't listen to shit I had to say anyway. You know what I'm saying? I was like, bro, you know what I'm saying? You didn't cut all half the people. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, ain't no point, man. I can scout here right from the comfort of my own home, man. But you know, it's gonna be fun to get to camp, get out to Oxnard, see Cowboys Nation, and build up this excitement for the Brian Schottenheimer era, Schotty era, man. So we appreciate everyone tuning in for J-Tuck, DMV, CFT, N2I. We're Cover 3. Everyone had a good one. Peace.
All right.